Well, from an amazing atmosphere in Athens to the smoke running out of the tunnel, the Duke Blue Devils, a dangerous spot for number 12 today. Georgia Tech here in Durham, and the Ramblin' Wreck will take on a team that is undefeated in the ACC, and Duke, the last time the Blue Devils started 4-0 in the ACC, 1994. As far as Georgia Tech is concerned, they are number 12, their highest ranking in 11 years. And the last time the Ramblin' Wreck opened a season 7-0, 1967. As we welcome you to ESPN College Football presented by ServPro, you're watching the ACC on ESPN. Bob Wischusen, Lewis Riddick, Chris Budden with you here in Durham. And look, we've got a game that is certainly going to raise some eyebrows around the country in terms of its impact on the ACC race. But to these two head coaches, they're not surprised to be here.
No, they're absolutely not. And would you be if you had the kind of quarterbacks that these two teams have? I mean, look, they have the number 1 and number 2 total offensive leaders in college football, starting with Darian Mensah playing for the Duke Blue Devils, who the transfer from Tulane has looked spectacular. You want to talk about a pure pocket passer who can also win outside the pocket? He's the guy for you. Contrast that with the style of Haynes King from Georgia Tech. This guy is all heart and soul and grit. The offense runs through him. This team runs through him. He is the heartbeat. He will have to play his very best today in what's going to be a tremendous matchup.
And it will be Haynes King that will start with the football. Duke won the toss and deferred. Early start, obviously, the noon kick here in Durham, so the crowd still filing in. And a Georgia Tech team that this season has run for over 300 yards in a game twice, including 320 yards on opening day against Colorado. Chris Budden, no surprise for Manny Diaz. As we said, he expects games like this.
Yeah, the words that he used for us is our best can beat their best on any given Saturday. This is a team that's pulled some upsets in the past. You look at 2 years ago when they beat Clemson. But Diaz said in those moments we had to be at our very best and we needed things to go wrong for the other team. That mentality has changed for us. I want our locker room to know that we have the talent on this field to beat anyone on any given day, because our best beats their best.
Well, we met with Aaron Hall defensively yesterday, a two-time captain. He seemed pretty confident.
He sure did. He's going to have to play a great game today against this rushing attack.
They're going to try a tunnel screen on first down, and the tunnel is closed. Malik Rutherford may have lost the football, but the officials say no, he was down.
As the ball carrier was down, it's second down.
Wow.
And just what a heck of a play by safety Caleb Weaver. You see him read that screen immediately. But that's the kind of thing you need to do against this Georgia Tech passing attack. It's going to be one that really features the short and intermediate passing game. You see Caleb Weaver there. You see the knee is down, the right knee is down on the ground. As they're taking Malik Rutherford off the field, and you see again Caleb Weaver, just a great read. Great way to start the game for the
ruling on the field. This is the runner's forward progress was stopped. The previous play is under review.
We've got the ACC Command Center available to us again today. And we're going to listen in on this replay review.
Hey, guys.
We're out of it.
Guys, so we confirm now the ruling on the field was that his progress was stopped. Okay.
Okay. So the only thing we can be able to identify with progress is
first contact.
First contact.
Correct.
Right. The ball is not released. Does not even move when we have first contact. We also see a knee down based off of the far handheld look.
Copy that.
The ruling on the field is upheld.
Ruling on the field is upheld. It's second down.
Yes.
Copy that. Thank you.
Thank you. You're welcome.
After review, the ruling on the field is upheld. Second down.
Again, we have been so privileged on a few of our games to be able to eavesdrop in on that conversation and have not only the rule clarified, but hear the reasoning behind the call that's being made.
Yeah, really. I mean, it's a learning experience every time that you listen to it, because it's nice and methodical and controlled as far as how they, discuss these situations. And we've learned a lot ourselves just listening to them go through it.
So Malik Rutherford, Haynes King, arguably his favorite target off the field with the injury. It's second down, but there's a crossing route, and that should be good enough for a first down. It is. Jordan Allen, the true freshman, making only his second catch of the year. And what a weapon Haynes King is, running the football and throwing the football.
Yeah, he completed 83.3% of his passes last week. or rather their last game against Virginia Tech for 213 yards and a TD. Haynes King can really dice you up in the short and intermediate game.
Movement on the line.
False start. Offense, number 77. 5-yard penalty. First down.
Keelan Rutledge causes his team to back up 5 as we take a look, Lewis, at your impact players. Brought to you by Mattress Firm.
Yeah, sometimes they're pretty simple. Look, Haynes King is the guy who controls everything for Georgia Tech's offense. Defensive back Jai Gilmore, number 14. He has to play a critical role in this game because he has to stop the running game of Duke and be a factor in the passing game. Darian Mensah, one of the best passers in the country. And then just keep an eye on number 7, Vincent Anthony Jr. Got 6.5 sacks on the season. He's tied for 6th nationally. Just one of the very best defensive ends in college football.
Tried to get Jamal Haynes on the move. He was swallowed up near the line of scrimmage. Aaron Hall, Josiah Green, they were both there. So it's going to be 2nd down and 13.
For Duke, look, they want to try and get Haynes King in this offense off the field and try and build an early lead. Like they said, like 1st and 2nd down are huge when you're going up against this Georgia Tech offense. You want to keep them in 3rd and long situations, make them have to throw the football. This 2nd and long is key right here.
They fake the screen, and now the check down to Bailey Stockton. Gets to the sideline, tries to stay in bounds, but stepped out just across the 42-yard line, about 3 yards shy. Caleb Weaver hustled over and forced him to step on the chalk. So 3rd down and 3.5 coming here for Georgia Tech.
See, that's exactly how Georgia Tech really does give you problems. You have them in a 2nd and long. They're able to pick up enough yards to where now, with Georgia Tech, if you got them in, if they've got you in a 3rd and 2, 3rd and 3 type of situation, it might as well be 3rd and 1. Because this is a football team that will go for it on 4th down with the way they can run the football.
Haynes King, straight quarterback run. Tripped up, dives, did he get there? It looks like he's short by a yard. So that first decision for Brent Key to make, do you go for it on 4th and 1 on your side of the 50? It looks like without hesitation, he says yes.
And this is the kind of situation that defensive coordinator John Packey knows. He said, look, 2nd and long, these are key situations for us.
They got VJ Anthony to jump. The dummy clap count got VJ Anthony to jump in the neutral zone.
Offside. Defense, number 7. 5-yard penalty results in a 1st down.
So a 1st down by penalty on 4th and 1 brings the ball to midfield.
Cannot give Georgia Tech any room to continue to grind out long physical drives against you. Any chance you get to get off the football field, you've got to take it against this football team, because in the 4th quarter, when those plays mount up, that's when this team gets you.
Jet sweep motion, Jamal Haynes across the 50. He picks up 2. Let's check in with Chris.
Yeah, Georgia Tech without Malik Rutherford after that first play. He's currently in the injury tent. They took off his shoe on the right side. He's been testing it, but still in the injury tent as of now.
He's only 37 catches away, Lewis, now from being the all-time leader in catches in Georgia Tech history. So that's the last guy they want to lose.
Absolutely. We got a chance to talk to him yesterday. What a fantastic young man. The resolve of this football team, the closeness of this football team is why they're ranked inside the top 15 in the country.
The toss to Malachi Hosley. Turn back. He's going to lose at least 3. Caleb Weaver again. Another tackle for loss.
And you're going to see Caleb Weaver right here. Just watch him shoot the gap. As soon as he reads this quick toss and tackle pull, he is out there in a hurry. That's how you have to be as far as reading your keys against this Georgia Tech running game. You have to attack and play them on their side of the line of scrimmage, which Duke does as well as anyone. They try to reset the line of scrimmage every single play and play downhill every single play. Now this is where they want to keep Georgia Tech, 3rd and long.
Play clock is winding down. They're going to have to call timeout. For whatever reason, Tech was late coming out of the huddle.
Timeout.
And so Brent Key calls timeout and brings his offense over. We will step aside. Early 3rd down when we return. We return with today's road test brought to you by Goodyear. Lewis, you're keys to victory.
Yeah, for Georgia Tech, it's about neutralizing these fantastic ends, Wesley Williams and Vincent Anthony Jr. Defensively for Duke, it's about to limit the missed tackles, and you've seen they've come out of the gates absolutely firing so far. Good start for them. Offensively for Duke, when they get on the field, build an early lead, make Georgia Tech play from behind and have to throw the football. And then defensively for Georgia Tech, limit the explosive plays, limit the 20-plus yard throws that Darian Mensah is going to put up in the air.
Duke has struggled to stop the opposition on third down. 107th in third down conversion percentage on defense. Here a third and long. Haynes King well short of the first. So now it's a fourth and long as Luke Mergat made the stop in space on Haynes King. It's 4th down and 7 across the 50. A little delay, and now the punt group comes out.
Yeah, Haynes missed the opportunity to hit big Isaiah Canyon, the sophomore at 6'4", 215 pounds, sitting wide open just beyond the sticks. Opted instead to pull it down and run it and trust his legs. It's a good series, though, for Duke to get off the field and having not surrendered any points and get their explosive offense on the field.
Marshall Nichols trying to pin it deep. Gets the side spin. And his group in perfect position just to let it die inside the 4-yard line. So special teams does their job. A look at today's More Than a Home team, brought to you by Cracker Barrel. And our first look at Darian Mensah, as he is in the top 7 in America. In the numbers you want a quarterback to be in the top 7 in America, and he's making big plays and scoring.
Yeah, how about this guy? I mean, we just love this kid. We got to see him last year down in Tulane against Kansas State. You know, that was really his coming out party, and this is another opportunity for him. I mean, his rankings are just spectacular. They could not be more thrilled with what he has given them, both on the field and off the field, in terms of his leadership. And you're in for a treat today watching this young man. He can absolutely spin it.
He's got a true freshman alongside and Nate Shepard in the backfield, and he will zing one out to the right and a broken tackle. Well, there's the chunk play that Duke needed. Cooper Barkey stepped out of bounds. All the way back on his side of the 50, but from inside the 5 out to the 38-yard line on the broken tackle, catch and run for Barkey.
You see Cooper Barkey here at the end of the play as Jai Gilmore tries to get him out of bounds. You see the left foot right there on the line. You see immediately they go after cornerback Rodney Shelley, one-on-one, who's playing for the injured Amari Harvey, not starting in this football game. And they come up with a big play right out of the gate.
They waste no time. Up tempo. Swing pass again. Barkade again. Gets a block. He's out to the 45-yard line. You like comps? You watch the NFL all the time. You had a good one for Cooper Barkade.
Yeah, look, he reminds me a little bit of Cooper Kupp, although he plays outside a little bit more than what Cooper Kupp does traditionally, meaning he'll play the X or the Z and not the E position, which is the slot. But Cooper Barkade, look, he is a contested catch monster. This guy has absolute stick-em for hands, and he's so strong after the catch. He can do it all. They could not be more pleased with what he has given them.
Now they load up with 2 tight ends and run it with Nate Shepard. He won't go down. Gang tackled, getting a push, and he fights hard for 6. So it's a first down across the 50 for Duke.
You gotta love the freshman Nate Shepard. This is a guy who has 2 rushing TDs in each of the last 2 games, averaging almost 8 yards a carry. I mean, he is just explosive all over the field, and someone who will break it loose here if you do not play with good fundamentals.
Shepard again. And this time, he barely gets across the line of scrimmage. Leighton Powell-Lee wrapped him up and surrendered only 1 yard.
The second-level defenders of Georgia Tech, when Duke decides to run the football, they have to be absolutely pinpoint with their tackling. This team is so explosive. Nate Shepard, you turn on the tape for Duke's offense, you see him consistently just ripping off big runs, and now they bring in their hammer, Anderson Castle, 6 foot, 215 pounds. You know the name's Cam Scatterboom? This guy looks kind of like him with that number 4.
Screen instead. Quayshawn Brown. Close to another first down.
Well, you just see the diversity of their weaponry. You see they've got power, they've got speed, they've got guys on the outside who can catch the long ball. Quayshawn Brown is as quick as lightning on these little wide receiver screens in the middle of the field.
3rd down and 1, the first opportunity for Anderson Castle. And it looks like just enough for the first down. So the drive stays alive for Duke. Sometimes the only way you can slow Duke down tempo-wise is to sub when they sub. They can go fast.
Absolutely. They get 4 or 5 plus on first down. They're going to absolutely press on the accelerator on second down.
Mensa on a rollout. Mensa with room, throws across his body, throws it in to Barcade again, into the red zone.
That's Darian Mensa for you right there. He can beat you off of any platform. He does not have to be sitting in the pocket stationary. You can do so many different things with this young man. And if you do not disrupt his rhythm, he's going to put up Star Wars type numbers on you.
Again, there's the hookup. Barcade, one-on-one with a skip-up to the 10-yard line. He's got 9. You know, it's amazing. You got a quarterback that was kind of hidden at Tulane. Darian Mensa had 1 offer coming out of high school, and now his favorite target is a Harvard transfer, and here they are in the ACC. The portal gives you a chance to find diamonds in the rough.
And there you saw it. The big gain on first down. They're trying to speed it up on second down. Although getting some direction from the sideline, making sure they're in the optimal play.
Shepard. First down to the 6-yard line. It's 1st and goal. Brought down by Jason Moore. But a goal to go for a Duke team. It's got a pretty good touchdown percentage, middle of the pack in terms of FBS teams at 65%.
Yeah, now they bring in their hammer, number 4, Anderson Castle, we talked about earlier. He's the power back inside this offensive line for Duke. A lot of experience. 4 of these guys have played a lot with each other. They have 1 transfer, Jordan Larson, number 64, who's the starter at left guard.
Castle looking for ACC rushing touchdown number 7. And he came within a yard of it. 2nd down and goal at the 1. Omar Daniels saved a score.
Just good old power football. They have 3 double teams at the point of attack. It just goes straight downhill and tell Jordan Castle or Anderson Castle, just find the running lane and just get this thing in. A lot of confidence both of these programs have in their offensive lines and their group of 5 up front.
An extra offensive lineman and 2 tight ends. Losing the football as Mensa at the mesh point. It's scooped up. Heading the other way is Daniels. It's a scoop and score for Georgia Tech. Omar Daniels found the ball laying on the turf, and he finds the end zone and the first points of the game. 95 yards in the other direction.
This is just a ball handling situation on this zone read. Just watch here. Just watch Darian Mensa. You can see as the end is crashing down, he wants to pull this ball because he sees how the dive is going to be taken away. And you're almost caught in that no man's land where the running back is trying to grab for the football. Darian's trying to pull it out because he sees the end man on the line of scrimmage crashing flat down the line of scrimmage. And that's where you have these kind of errors that wind up being absolutely critical after an awesome-looking long drive to start the game.
Turnovers have been the story of Duke's season. Their first 3 games, they were -6 and lost 2 of those 3 to Illinois and Tulane. They had been +11 in their 3-game ACC win streak until just now.
College football is presented by ServPro, the #1 choice in cleanup and restoration.
A 90-second meeting between these 2 programs. Georgia Tech has won 4 in a row. These 2 teams had met 90 consecutive years until 2023 when they failed to meet for the first time in nearly a century. Bob Wischusen, Louis Riddick, Chris Button, Jerry McGinn, our officiating expert. It's been since 1966 that Georgia Tech began a season 7-0 And Duke has not been 4-0 in the ACC since 1994. Duke actually has a 6-game ACC win streak. You have to go all the way back to 1963. The last time they had a 7-game ACC win streak, stretching back to last year, but they just turned it over. First time in a month, Duke turned it over. The first time in 4 years, it's a scoop and score for Georgia Tech. They lead 7-0. Section of the year, who will take home the trophy this year. Trying to fire it back up after a 95-yard drive ended inside the 5-yard line for Duke with a scoop and score by Omar Daniels, giving Georgia Tech the lead.
This is a game of resilience now. I mean, that for Duke, you've shown that offensively you have a great plan. You know how you want to attack, where you want to attack. Just got to finish drive. You can not have those self-inflicted turnovers. See how they respond here. It'll be critical.
Play action for Mensa. A rollout and an easy pitch and catch to Jeremiah Hazley. And the tight end is close to a first down. He's got 9.
Just come right out, get back on the bike, and start pedaling again. Getting Darian Mensa outside the pocket. Just so good, so smooth, throwing the football from any platform.
Mensa's off to a 6 for 6. Now make it a 7 for 7 start. Mostly to Barcade. Another move for Barcade on the screen. And a simple play becomes a chunk play to the 46 of Georgia Tech. It's another 20 yards.
You see the blocking out on the perimeter, one-on-one. They know they got the numbers in their advantage. They got a blocker for both DBs who closing on the throw. And then Barcade can just split the two and get upfield. Yesterday when we met with offensive coordinator Jonathan Brewer, I mean, he was entertaining, very informative about how they like to run their offense. You can see right now they are locked in.
Play action. Mensa, clean pocket, has a one-on-one for Andrell Anthony. Broken up at the goal line. Good recovery, coverage-wise. Jai Gilmore was there. And he got some help. It turned into double coverage by the time the ball landed.
Yeah, they got the matchup that they wanted. Jai Gilmore one-on-one deep down the field. But Zachary Tobe, the corner, number 23, lends some weak side help, some late weak side help, which is really the key to secondary play when the team likes to take deep shots. And you're playing zone coverage. If you can get offside, weak side help from guys who don't have any work, it really helps you cut down on the explosive plays. That's a nice job by Georgia Tech secondary.
Georgia Tech without arguably their best corner today, as Shepard gets to the 41-yard line, picks up 5. Amari Harvey hurt. So Rodney Shelley, who certainly has the capability to perform at a starter's level, but he's run hot and cold. He's opposite Zach Toby as the 2 starters. And now Toby's hurt. So already without Amari Harvey, and that is their second starting corner that is down. So while we have an injury timeout, let's check in for the first time today with Matt Barry. So with a limp, Zach Toby is heading off the field. You know, it's amazing sometimes the professionals know. Lewis, you've got Vanderbilt favored, and today number 12 Georgia Tech, but Duke was a field goal favorite to start the game. Can't account for turnovers though, and that's what Duke did on the opening drive as Omar Daniels brought 95 yards for a touchdown.
Yeah, they sure are the great equalizer. Self-inflicted wounds on the part of Duke as far as the ball handling down the goal line. Now you see with Toby out of the game, they'll bring in Daquan White. Number 4 will take his spot down here to the short side of the field. Expect Duke to go up top again, putting the ball in the air.
3-man rush on 3rd down. To the sideline, trying to stay in bounds as Shepard. Did he? It looks like he did, but maybe for only a gain of a half yard. So now decision time for Manny Diaz at the 40-yard line.
The way in which they've been moving the football, the confidence with which the quarterback has been playing. You're on the plus side of the 50. The passing game has been open. The offensive line has really been capturing the line of scrimmage as well with their double teams.
Play clock's down to 8. And they're still not set. Play clock now down to 3 for 4th down. Will they snap it? They will. Here comes a blitz. Mensah off his back foot. Has a hookup with Samir Hagans for a 1st down. Kept his eyes downfield as the rush was heading his way. A big Duke conversion.
You see defensive coordinator Blake Gideon decides to try and heat Darian Mensah up. Plays man-to-man coverage with just a single safety in the middle of the field. And who do they go after immediately? Daquan White. It just came in for Zach Toby.
Blitz off the edge again. It's picked up again. It's Hagans again. 1st down.
And you see who they're continuing to try to go after. The coaches see the game the same way you do as a fan. When you see that a backup is coming in the football game, they're going to want to see what that guy has as far as his skill set is concerned, whether or not he can handle being in the spotlight. And they have clearly zeroed in on number 4, Daquan White.
Shepard hunting for some room. He's going to lose yards. Should take us to the end of the quarter. Jason Moore on what was 2nd down and about a ½ yard. Will make it 3rd down and 1 when we come back to begin the 2nd quarter.
Welcome back, joined with Brent Key. You got the scoop and score last time. What's important for your defense to finish out this drive?
Get a stop. I mean, we got to get a stop. And they're going right up and down the field right now. We got lucky. We got a turnover there in the last drive. But then they get it back, going back down the field again. All right, we can't live off the big play. We got to be consistent in what we do up front. All right, being able to stop the run and then tighten up our coverage on these guys.
Coach.
All right.
And Lewis, they're trying to get a stop on 3rd down and 1 here to start the quarter. Anderson Castle has the 1st down. Well, it's been very evident Duke offensively is going to be able to move the ball against this Georgia Tech defense. That has to concern Brent Key.
Yeah, absolutely. It's not just through the air, although Darian Mensah right now is on pace to have an absolutely fantastic game. This offensive line, as far as the run game is concerned, is really getting some movement at the point of attack with their power run game. The combination of Castle and Shepard are a heck of a 1-2 punch, and Brent knows, as you see him standing there on the sideline, he knows that this defense is up against it here.
Mensah rolls, being chased to the sideline. And it looked like a toe tap for Hagans. And they will say yes, completed to the 12-yard line. 6 up 5.
This is a nice job of Samir Hagans just adjusting his route. He really had run a curl and was kind of just spotted up, just about 3-4 yards on top of the numbers. Then he realizes that Darian's not able to find an open receiver, so he just slowly starts to drift towards the sideline, gets friendly to the quarterback, as they say, provides an open target. I mean, this offense is really in sync in the passing game. You can tell that. But they have really struck the right accord as far as chemistry between quarterback and pass catchers.
A pump fake and an end zone shot. Broke it up. Looking for Hazley was Mensah. Check that, Jake Taylor, the intended receiver. Well defended by Daquan White.
And you see Daquan White just playing outside in. Just does a nice job of maintaining leverage, not panicking, and just getting his right arm around the receiver and being able to knock that pass down. A lot of times defensive backs panic in that situation, start to grab and tug at the jersey and get a pass interference. Well, this is a key 3rd down. Brent Key talking about we got to find a way to get a stop, hold them to 3 at the very least. Here's the opportunity.
1-on-1. Jump ball in the end zone, incomplete, intended for Andrell Anthony. Leighton Powell-Lee had a man-for-man. And it's a red zone stop for Georgia Tech defensively.
And this is just nice man-to-man, one-on-one coverage. Andrell Anthony is out on the edge, trying to win the hand fighting battle. You're going to see there's a lot of aggressiveness, a lot of pulling and tugging on both parts, trying to jockey for position. But as a defensive back, that's how tough you have to play it in that kind of situation and give yourself a chance.
Todd Polino, second all-time in scoring in Duke history. And it's a muffed snap. And special teams kills Duke again. Cade Reynoldson muffed the hold and had nowhere to go with the football.
Forward progress was stopped. First down.
So 2 trips into the red zone, a goal to go as well on the opening drive for Duke, and they come away empty on both because special teams costs them.
Perfect snap, just got to get the ball down and get it spotted. Special teams, that third phase, Georgia Tech specializes in it.
ESPN College Football, presented by ServPro, is brought to you by Coca-Cola. Fan work is thirsty work.
If you want tailgating weather, they have it today in Durham. It's a perfect day for the fans. But mistakes have really hurt Duke. 7-0 Georgia Tech. And their offense back to work. Malachi Hosley has 4 yards. 2 offensive drives, Lewis, for Duke. They've put 142 yards of offense together. They've held the ball for 11.5 minutes. They've got nothing to show for it.
Yeah, I mean, that's the kind of thing that eventually starts to wear on you mentally, as far as, look, you're putting in all this work, but you don't have anything on the scoreboard. And for Georgia Tech, look, they're finding a way to be resourceful here and keep points off the board. Now let's see if they're offensively, they can get something going.
Haynes King shovels one out to the flat, nowhere to go for Hosley. Luke Burgott, who had to take over as the starter when Nick Morris Jr. was lost for the season against NC State's played really well.
He sure has. Burgott, nice key and diagnose on that play as far as just tracking the running back Malachi Hosley out to the flat. And this defensive line for Duke, you see Josiah Green, Aaron Hall, Vincent Anthony Jr., Manny Diaz, you see on your screen. He tells these guys, look, get upfield and create disruption.
Blitz on third down. Haynes King off his back foot with the pressure right in his face. Kendall Johnson, another linebacker that had been injured and out. He'd been out since their Illinois game all the way back in week 2. Put the pressure on.
Yeah, you're going to see Kendall Johnson right here. You're going to see him just fire downhill again, trying to pressure the line of scrimmage. And he's able to beat the block and get the hit on Haynes King, who's getting pressure off his blind side as well. It's a good series for the Duke defense.
A punt up the sideline that gets inside the 35-yard line of Duke and lands out of bounds right at the 35. Blue Devils have the football back. Well, the only reason Duke is trailing in this game is because of Duke. A long drive to start the game, Lewis. They get all the way down, goal to go, and a fumble at the mesh point turns into an Omar Daniels touchdown.
Yeah, you assume Darian Mensah was again trying to pull that football out of the belly of Anderson Castle with the way Ben was crashing down in the line of scrimmage. And then here, Cade Reynoldson just mishandling what looked like a perfect snap on that field goal attempt, just trying to get 3 on the board. And that's just so frustrating for head coach Manny Diaz. Those are the kind of things that are going to be crucial when you're playing against the number 12 team in the country, a team that's just so resourceful. Like, they have really been battle tested, and they'll win games however they have to. You just can't help them. And right now, they're giving Georgia Tech assistance here to the tune of a 7-0 score.
Well, they've won 3 ACC games in a row, has Duke, and they didn't turn the ball over once in any of those 3 games. They were plus 11 back to the ground in Anderson Castle. Let's go down to Chris Budden.
And Bob, frustrating for a Duke offense who has moved the ball so well. They came off the field and just looked shell-shocked. No one really speaking to each other that entire last possession by Georgia Tech. It took Justin Pickett, the right guard, to come over to people and say, we got to get going now.
Well, they have been going to the tune of 144 yards of offense. Well, it's certainly demoralizing when you leave at least 10 points out on the field. Anderson Castle, the secondary. Bop down at about the 48-yard line of Georgia Tech, but not before easily picking up the first down. Kamen Spalding was the last line of defense.
It's just real good blocking on that inside zone run, and then you're getting some blocking on the edge by the wide receivers.
Castle again, trying to bounce it outside. He is a grad transfer from Appalachian State. He enrolled back in January and got married in the same month. But he told his wife, honey, I've got spring football practice. So they delayed their honeymoon until after the spring semester was over. Obviously an understanding bride.
With this Duke offense, 5 plays of 10+ yards already in this football game. They have been getting the chunks that they need. It's just going to be, when you get down inside the 20, you've got to put it in the end zone. Tech's got to find some ways to keep them out of that area of the field.
And it's a 3-man rush, and it gets home nonetheless. Jordan Vandenberg with a bull rush to collapse the pocket.
And you're just going to get 2 one-on-ones. Watch both defensive tackles just getting good vertical push. Vandenberg just taking number 63 Bradley Smith and just bench pressing him off of him. Mensah can't get rid of the football quick enough and find an open receiver as his helmet comes off at the end of the play.
Yeah, Montre Bradford helped on that rush. Mensah lost his helmet. So as a result, they have to bring in Henry Beelan for a play. And it's 3rd down and a mile. Flags thrown at the snap. False start Duke.
False start. Offense, number 75. 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
Now the penalty doesn't get Mensah back in the game. Bruno Finas called for the false start. Almost surprising Beelan was going to throw the ball. Right? Wouldn't you think that you've got your backup quarterback in there, 3rd down, and about 0 chance to pick up the first? And they were going to put it in the air.
And I think offensive coordinator Jonathan Brewer, he's living up to, as you see the stats there for Henry Beelan on your screen, he's living up to their creed here. Look, they are constantly trying to put pressure on the defense. It really doesn't matter what the situation or obviously who's in the game.
3rd and 23. Beelan keeps it. It's to midfield. And just across the 50-yard line. Well, that certainly puts you in better position to change the field with your punt group.
Well, just a nice read by Beelan of pulling the ball and then getting out around the corner. Exactly the kind of play design, quite honestly, that was down on the goal line when they had the miscue as far as the ball handling with Mensah involved.
So now Cade Reynoldsson. You know, he would love to pin Duke and Bailey Stockton deep if he could after muffing the snap on the field goal attempt that left 3 points potentially on the field. The end-over-end kick. Stockton, fair catch at the 18. Georgia Tech with the football back and a touchdown lead. Matt, it's 7-0 Georgia Tech here, and their offense has not done anything. It's a 95-yard fumble return for a touchdown, Lewis. That's been their offense.
Yeah, for a team that's averaging close to 480 yards of total offense a game.
Ball Haynes spin cycle and keeps his footing. Oh, that was a fun run up to the 21-yard line. It's a hard work at 3 yards. He broke the tackle of Kamari Robinson. That was nearly another tackle for loss for Duke.
Yeah, I mean, this is a team that just attacks the line of scrimmage relentlessly as a defense. 3 TFLs on the day. Came into this game, 4th in the country in TFLs and number 1 in negative plays forced by the defense. And they are giving Georgia Tech's offensive line all they can handle.
Screen. Short of the first down. Isaiah Canyon's first catch, and it is a yard short, so it'll be 3rd down and 1.
See, this is one of these situations where Georgia Tech they are comfortable in this kind of situation because of the size, the experience they have up front, the multiple tight end sets, the ability of the quarterback to really be a threat as a runner. They work to get themselves in these type of situations so they can play to their strengths.
And Malachi Hosley is a fullback, and they hand it to him. And he spins and has the first down. So he lined up as the fullback in the eye with Jamal Haynes as the tailback. And Malachi Hosley, who, by the way, at least coming into today, now this is a different story with the way Duke has defended them in the first half, but he would be #1 in the country by a yard in average yards per attempt if he had enough carries to qualify. A Penn transfer that was averaging close to 9 yards per carry coming into today. Another screen. Eric Rivers right at the line of scrimmage. He's brought down. Chandler Rivers on Eric Rivers on the stop for Duke.
Again, the speed with which Duke's defense plays and rallies to the football. Immediately, as soon as ball declares, you see 11 black helmets just converging on the football.
Haynes King finds a crosser. That's a first down out to the 44-yard line as he went Rivers' direction again.
Got to watch Eric Rivers warming up before the game down on the field, and his ability to run routes with the precision and quickness. You're going to see him coming in motion. Just look how quickly he's able to get out and just run that little in breaker, and Haynes King puts it on him. Don't underestimate Haynes King as a thrower, especially off the play action passing game. He can be very efficient when the run game is rolling.
Jamal Haynes runs hard for his size as he bullies his way for 6. We also should mention you'll see Malik Rutherford back on the field. So number 8, after it looked like he had hurt his knee on the opening possession, was able to shake it off, and he is back in the game for Georgia Tech.
Haynes King using the double clap, seeing if Duke will just declare what their coverage rotation is going to look like.
Hosley. He spins and comes up a yard short of the first down again. It's just 3rd down and 1 across the 50-yard line for Georgia Tech.
Just so difficult to defend this zone read with Haynes King. That time you saw defensive end Vincent Anthony just didn't know who to take. He didn't know if he should go for the running back Malachi Hosley or if he should tackle Haynes King, and he makes the right decision, and you see the positive yardage that they get out of it.
Speaking of tackles for loss, there was Luke Burgott firing up the middle. That's a loss of a couple. It's going to be 4th down and about 4.
Yeah. I mean, Burgott and these linebackers here for Duke, you just see how fast these guys are triggering. We've been talking about it all game long. When you're playing against a team like this that essentially is the triple option, it's the dive, then it's the quarterback. And as their defensive coordinator, Jonathan Packey, said, it's then in the screen game, you have to be decisive in your reads. Duke's playing it perfectly.
Barcade lets this one sail over his head. And Marshall Nichols puts it about 5 yards deep in the end zone. So on the touchback, Duke has it back. Kick off your NFL Sunday with the Countdown Crew on ESPN at 10 Eastern. Before the Vikings-Eagles matchup, an all-access flight school with Justin Jefferson. And we have Monday Night Football, a doubleheader. The Bucs and the Lions, a special start time at 7 Eastern on ESPN and ABC, and then Texans Seahawks on ESPN, both available on ESPN Deportes and the all-new ESPN app. And Lewis, you'll be out there to take in C.J. Stroud and my man Sam Darnold. So nice to see Sam not just reviving his career, but finds a home in Seattle.
Yeah, absolutely. The offense fits him perfectly. He has not missed a beat.
Mensah throws it away as much as anything. Barcade in the area. 2nd down and 10. Melvin Jordan on the blitz, put some pressure on Mensah.
And again, you see as many times now as they've tried to get Darian Mensah out on the perimeter, changing the launch point, giving Georgia Tech a bunch of different looks as far as where he's going to throw the football from. That time, defensive coordinator Blake Gideon sends Melvin Jordan out on the perimeter to pull the quarterback up and make him throw the football much sooner than he wanted to.
Shepard straight ahead. How much fun was it talking to Darian Mensah yesterday? You talk about just a magnetic young guy.
Yeah.
He's the kind of quarterback you want to build around.
Yeah, no doubt. He's very, very charismatic, very definitive in terms of what he was looking for. He said, look, I wanted to play in an offense that obviously would level up my game and one that I'd have the ability to affect down in and down out and be in total control of. And I don't think you can argue that he is not in control of this offense.
3rd down and 5. Simulated pressure. Mensah backing up. Mensah extending the play. Gets all the way up to the 10-yard line. Down the sideline. It's Barkey. 1st down. Oh, that was all Darian Mensah.
I mean, how frustrating is this for a defense? As you see, Vandenberg, he's got him in his sights. He just can't get him down. Mensah just stopping and starting that. Then he has Braden Manley, who has him in his sights. He jukes him. And then who does he find? Mr. Dependable. Cooper Barkey down the sideline, just continuing to work to get open. That's the magic that this young man possesses.
Nate Shepard, flag down as he's turned back to midfield.
There is a flag on the field.
Offside. Defense, number 24. 5-yard penalty. 1st down.
Well, you said Cooper Barkey reminded you of Cooper Kupp. Who does Darian Mensah remind you of?
Yeah, look, when he wears that number 10 and how smooth he is, he just looks like Jordan Love to me. I said that last year when we saw him at Tulane. He's just so smooth and fluid, and when you watch Jordan Love, he just never looks stressed. He looks like a guy who just believes wholeheartedly in his athletic ability, and as well as his mental ability to make the decisions necessary. And Darian Mensah just comes off the same way. I can't say enough good things about him. It's hard not to pull for a young man like this. But he's got to get his offense in the end zone, because this Georgia Tech defense will just gain confidence as this game goes along.
He realized the play clock was winding down, got his team lined up quickly, and he throws another one to the sideline through the hands of Landon King. His tight ends couldn't haul it in. Well, Darian Mensah came to Duke with NIL money to the tune of 2 years and $4 million a year.
And there you see why Duke ponied up and got him here to their campus. The ability to kind of move in the pocket, moved with fluidity, and he knows he missed one there to Landon King.
He said with all that money, the number one thing he wanted to do was something for his mom. Nate Shepard bounces it outside, has a 1st down.
How about Nate Shepard? How about instinctive of a run was this? He just kind of took his time, shuffle, make sure everyone feels as though he's going to try and find a seam to hit that up inside. And then he just bursts to the perimeter and beats pursuit and lays a heck of a hit on the DB coming up to try and put a tackle on him. Rodney Shelley, the corner.
It's going to take us down to the 2-minute timeout. Now, Darian Mensah, as I said, Lewis, with all that money, his mom at one point was working 3 jobs to keep he and his 3 siblings afloat, declared bankruptcy at one point. And now he was able to take his mom on vacation for the first time ever. It's a great story. To that point, we've got a matchup today of 2 undefeated ACC teams. A couple of losses for Duke as Barkey, a little button hook up the right sideline, steps out of bounds and preserves time in front of Rodney Shelley. But it's 3 wins in the league to start league play for Duke. And, of course, Georgia Tech is undefeated, period. They are 6-0. And up to number 12 in the country. So these 2 teams are in that discussion.
Absolutely. Look, Georgia Tech, they're saying, hey, look, we're sitting here undefeated right now. We've got the lead on the road against a real good opponent. We're sitting in a pretty good spot. Duke just trying to get something going and get some points on the board.
Crease for Shepard. And that door closed quickly. That was a good tackle by John Mitchell, or else Shepard would have had some running room. That makes it instead third down.
It absolutely was a great tackle by Mitchell. Otherwise, he's about to jump that ball outside. No one was going to catch him if they did. But we knew this was going to be a tackling game, especially when you're talking about the explosiveness of the Duke offense. You cannot let these guys get started in open field.
Third down here. We're taking some time off the clock. Mensah from a clean pocket. Bobbled ball, and it's caught on the carom by Jake Taylor. And I think he's got a first down. He bobbled it and then tracked it and found it again.
That's good fortune and just sticking with it by Jake Taylor. You see, he was already looking to get hit coming on that crosser.
John Mitchell could not believe it. This play blown dead at the line of scrimmage just as Duke snapped it. 1:01 to go before halftime.
John Mitchell's presence was exactly why Jake Taylor took his eyes off of that ball.
There is no foul. The game was stopped to review the ruling of a catch.
So it's not a flag being thrown. They're stopping play to confirm whether or not Jake Taylor did indeed make that catch.
See the eyes?
He tipped it. They just found it again, Lewis.
Yeah. The eyes came down. Now the ball actually careened perfectly in a position where he could get it then, because then now you see his eyes come down again, making sure that John Mitchell wasn't going to get it. And you see he just picks it up at the last second, can barely get his head up.
Well, we can eavesdrop on the ACC Operations Center.
Ground with control, and then you're also then going to see that he maintained it, and he also reached the line to gain. So the ruling on the field is going to be upheld.
Ruling on the field is upheld. It's first down, correct?
That is correct.
This didn't take long.
That's just a heck of a job of getting his head and his eyes around to where he can track that football and get his eyes on it again, and then get his body situated, and then protect it as he goes to the ground and complete the catch. I'd like to make it a little bit easier on yourself if you're Jake Taylor.
After review, the ruling on the field is upheld. It's first down. Please reset the game clock to 1:09. It will start on my signal.
Duke has all 3 timeouts. And so a chance for kind of a modified timeout here.
Thank you.
And that allows Duke to preserve a timeout, right? Stopping the game to review that play. Now you get a chance to do what you would have done during a timeout. With the clock stopped, talk things over, catch your breath. Now, as soon as the ball is set ready for play, they're going to wind the clock. And the Duke offense has to get out there and be set. 2 timeouts left for Georgia Tech as well.
Now it's who do you want to go after? Who do you want to target? Cooper Barcade has had a heck of a start to this football game. You see him down here at the bottom of the screen. As well as keep an eye on Samir Higgins, number 2 at the top of the screen, one-on-one.
Mensah with a check down. Nice cut by Nate Shepard. Takes an official out as well. Picks up about 8. 47 seconds to go in the half. Neither team spending a timeout yet.
44, Eford.
Eford made the stop. Another carry for Shepard. And he gets to the 20-yard line. Looks like that will be good enough for a first down, which will stop the clock without the need of calling a timeout, at least for a moment. Although Manny Diaz might want to use one here with only a half minute on the clock.
Duke, they're first. 30 seconds.
So as Duke spends their first time out, let's take a look at this week's college football rankings. Brought to you by Capital One. Weather for the Texas A&M Arkansas game. So that's now a 5:30 kickoff because all of the thunderstorms in the area. And of course, the headline in this league, the loss by Miami last night at home to Louisville.
Yeah, it just makes it wide open here in the ACC. And really, like Duke is right here in it now with their record in the ACC. Obviously, Georgia Tech is right here in it. And right now, look, if you're Georgia Tech, I mean, you're in the driver's seat, right? You kind of look at their record, and you look at really like how this football team is made up. I think you have to have a lot of confidence as far as them being a team that's kind of been through the fire a little bit, really believes in their identity. Duke, you've had opportunities. You've moved the football. You've got to get some points out of this drive before the half.
Mensah lobs one. Nice adjustment. Touchdown. Landon King tracked the football. And Darian Mensah has his 16th touchdown pass of the season.
And that's just a size mismatch. When you're talking about Landon King at 6'5", 230 pounds, going against Rodney Shelley. He just stands 5'11", 180, filling in for Amari Harvey in this game.
We are now tied. A defensive score for Georgia Tech. That's the first offensive touchdown of the day.
Yeah, you're going to see Landon King right here, then man on the line of scrimmage. He's just going to be one-on-one against the corner here in the boundary. The weak side of this formation, you see they try to get a jam on him at the line of scrimmage, and then the corner picks him up outside leverage with a safety in the middle of the field. And there you see the physicality at the catch point. You know, Georgia Tech fans are going to argue, did he push off? Did he push the corner to the ground? You see Darian Mensah, this shuffling in the pocket there. You see the left arm, and you see how the reaction of Rodney Shelley as he falls to the ground. But that's how they want to finish drives. Duke has some celebrations now. That's a heck of a way to finish off here in the second half. I mean, in the end of the first half.
And now, even with that Miami loss last night, how important is this game for both of these teams? You're trying to get to the ACC championship game. And then, worst case scenario, you've got a puncher's chance to make the college football playoff. Best case scenario, we saw the loser of the ACC championship game last year also get in. So both of these teams are 60% or better to make the ACC title game with a win today. You see a loss today, and those percentages plummet. Squib kick. And it's just going to be smothered. We've got two big games on ABC and the all-new ESPN app coming up later on this afternoon at 3:30 Eastern. Top 10 matchup in the SEC between Ole Miss and Georgia in Athens. And then Tennessee, Alabama at 7:30 Eastern on ABC, as well as we take a look at the SEC standings. And in terms of undefeated teams in the league, and you got Ole Miss and Alabama right up there with Texas A&M.
There are some absolute heavyweights right there. I mean, the SEC's never been stronger in terms of the quality of football that they're playing right now.
Haynes King up the middle. 22 seconds on the clock. And Brent Key's going to call one of his timeouts right here. They still have a couple left, so possible to get Aiden Burr in field goal range before halftime.
30 seconds.
13-yard gain right up the gut. Yeah, we saw Alabama has won 3 games in a row in the SEC, all against ranked teams. Of course they're all against ranked teams. Who isn't ranked in the SEC, or so it seems? An entire league that we just put up there standings-wise, all of those teams were ranked.
Hey, the transfer portal NIL really has allowed these teams to get even stronger as far as being able to really pinpoint the areas of their football teams that they want to improve and go out and transfer portal and get selected guys and integrate them into their program. And that's across all of college football. I was having a discussion pregame about this. The fact that parity has really crept into the college game, and it's great for the viewers, it's great for us as broadcasters, because on any given Saturday, we've seen it. How many upsets have we presided over?
No doubt.
It's a great time to be a college football fan.
And don't let the rankings in this game fool you. Duke was actually a slight favorite as Jamal Haynes tries to bounce it outside. Final timeout called by Brent Key, but only picking up 5 yards. So now you're down to 17 seconds. You have no timeouts left.
Georgia Tech, their third.
Now it's going to have to be pushing the ball down the field through the air. You would think, but the only Georgia Tech points in this game came courtesy of Omar Daniels and a Duke turnover.
They have been resourceful. Offense has been struggling, not been able to put points on the board. And Duke has absolutely just hurt themselves up until that last drive and the touchdown pass from Mensah to Landon King. Special teams mishaps, ball handling mishaps, and then they're able to put a clean drive together, find the one-on-one matchup that was real favorable for him with King going up against corner Rodney Shelley. And now we're sitting here tied. Just look at the statistics. I mean, they basically just tell you the story. Points off of turnovers. It's always going to tell the story until the end of time, as long as football is played. You turn the football over, you're going to have a hard time winning football games, and you can stay in it if you can create them.
Haynes King, tipped ball, incomplete. Blitz was coming off the edge from Chandler Rivers.
It's a nice job by Chandler Rivers of disguising that blitz, coming off the slot, playing that star position, the nickel position. Times his jump perfectly. You really like how this Duke defense has played in this first half. I mean, this is an explosive run game that Georgia Tech possesses in a very efficient passing game. And they've been able to really put a lid on it.
3 weeks ago, Georgia Tech was down 20-3 on the road at Wake Forest and came back and found a way to win that game. Here goes Haynes King to midfield, gets walloped. The clock will stop for the moment, and now pushing and shoving. I don't know if they took exception, did Georgia Tech, to the hit on Haynes King. But once the ball gets set ready for play, Georgia Tech's either going to have to run a play quickly or spike it. This might be the final play of the half. King to the sideline. That's pulled in. But I don't think that Isaiah Canyon got out of bounds before the clock went to all zeros. Let's see what the officials say. They're telling the two teams to stay on their benches.
It was real close, Bob.
If Canyon got out of bounds, then Aiden Burr can try a field goal.
You see Canyon
That's the end of the first
makes
half.
a great catch.
I don't think he got out before the clock went to zero.
You put that in super slow-mo.
It's a long second.
You never knew a second would take that long.
But now they've determined that, yes, indeed, the half did end before Canyon got out of bounds. So we are tied at 7 at the break. Georgia Tech's going to have to find a way to scratch out another tough win on the road. Let's go down to Chris Butler.
Coach, after those long drives where he came away with no points, what did you see in the response from your offense on that last possession?
We were in control of the game everywhere except for the scoreboard, so just keep doing what we're doing. You know, it's two great teams. It's a battle line of scrimmage, playing really well on defense. Just got to finish drives.
Appreciate the time.
Thank you.
And Manny Diaz certainly right. That was a dominant first half for Duke, as dominant as you could be, and be tied at 7. It's time for the halftime report. Joey Galloway and E.J. Manuel standing by with Matt Barry. Presented by ServPro. You're watching the ACC on ESPN. Set for the start of the second half, but the first half stats eye-opening. You see 7-7 at the top of the scoreboard, and you don't expect Louis Riddick to see one of the teams on pace for a possible 500-yard offensive day, but the turnovers, the miscues on special teams rob Duke of points, or else they might have a 2-score lead.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, I mean, Duke has moved the football at will. They get the ball to start here this second half, and they just got to finish drives. And I think, look, for Georgia Tech, it's going to be about opening this offense up a little bit when they get a crack at it again. I don't know if the running game is going to be something that's just going to be there, although I wouldn't abandon it. But for Duke, it's just about finishing drives and being clean with the football.
Hagans from about the 10-yard line. Samir Hagans gets to the sideline. He has been a Georgia Tech killer at times. An 81-yard touchdown and a punt return a few years ago. Well, in the second half, what has to change for Georgia Tech? Because that 7-7 score, as we said, is misleading.
Yeah, I think for sure Blake Gideon, the defensive coordinator for Georgia Tech, is going to tell his secondary, look, you got to keep a lid on this offense. And we got to start getting some pressure on this quarterback, because otherwise Darian Mensah is going to continue on this, like, absolutely torrid pace that he's on. And then offensively, again, run the football, but open up the passing game. Hit the opportunistic shots over the top. Haynes King can throw the football better than maybe people give him credit for. And I think he's going to have to show that here in this second half.
Lewis Riddick, Chris Budden down on the field as well. Chris?
Brent Key's message into halftime was that this is about what we expect. They're a really tough football team. But for as much as we preach toughness, this second half is about execution, primarily on the offensive side. He said that's at every position. And to what Lewis was just saying, they got to get back to throwing the football, a little bit more pitch and catch when they get the ball back.
An injury to keep an eye on the Georgia Tech sideline. Aiden Burr was shaken up, their place kicker, and a valuable one at that on the kickoff return. Great field position after the Samir Hagan's kickoff return as well. Quayshawn Brown, no gain on first down. That was well diagnosed by Georgia Tech.
This is nickelback Jai Gilmore. You see just firing quickly. And then you see the defensive line led by Jason Moore just pursuing inside out from his defensive line position. That's what you got to do. You got to get a lot of hats to the football against this explosive offense. Limit their run after the catch.
Gilmore sneaking down near the line of scrimmage again. Instead, Mensah misdirection the other way to Barkay.
Tell you what, Bob, Cooper Barkay, just a fantastic story. A pickup in the transfer portal. You know, a guy who is just a good football player. And it's fascinating how they arrived at the decision to go ahead and go after him in the portal. They're watching tape, using some of the analytics, the data that he had presented to them.
There he is again. He said he wanted to go to Harvard and graduate. Right? It meant a lot to him to not just play football at Harvard, but to leave Harvard with a degree. But with a year of eligibility left, to come to a place like Duke and play at a Power 4 level and show he belongs here as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he's just a good football player. One of the things that they like the most about him, again, is despite being a great route runner with great hands, it's just the contested catches and contested physical environments. He always seems to come down with the football. That's exactly what quarterbacks want.
Nate Shepard, little jump cut, created some space. He comes up about a half-yard short of another Duke first down. So Duke well over 250 yards of total offense at this point, but only 7 points on the board. They did score their 7th touchdown, though, in their last 6 games inside of the last 2 minutes and 20 seconds of a first half. Clayton Powell-Lee shaken up on that last play for Georgia Tech. He is slowly walking off the field. So this Duke offense, they can strike quickly when necessary, and they've made a habit of scoring right at the end of halves. And now they're basically trying to put together back-to-back touchdowns to take the lead.
They are a quick strike offense, no question. Explosive play offense. 8 plays so far in this game coming out of the first half of 10 or more yards. 5 of them went for 20 plus. Georgia Tech hasn't been able to produce those explosives. Only 1 play of 20 plus yards so far in this football game. And that's the kind of thing that'll eventually catch up to you. We know the score's tied now. But you've got to produce them. You've got to eliminate them on defense.
Anderson Castle, he's got the first down. And to that point, Duke coming into today, tied 7th in the country in most plays of 20 or more yards, tied 3rd in the country in most plays of 30 or more yards. When you get chunks like that, tough to stop.
Yeah, you sure are. I mean, because what winds up happening is you can think that you have an offense stop, you have them stop, you have them stop, but because of their ability to be so explosive, they can just flip the game in a hurry. And that's why you can just never let up on a football team like this, as you see.
Andrell Anthony has a couple of yards. Kyle Eford hustled out there to help Jai Gilmore on the tackle.
The thing about it is, like, I think Brent Key has, he has this game kind of like nailed perfectly as far as, but there's some things that they need to do offensively to open things up. But the score is what it is. It's still 7-7. It's basically a nothing ball game. There's a reason why this team is undefeated. They're very resourceful, very well conditioned, both mentally and physically. They're not going to make it easy for anyone to ultimately get the ball in the end zone.
Spin move again for Nate Shepard. And getting a push. Some help from his offensive line. As Bruno Fina, the left tackle, was in the middle of that. Trying to give a push to Shepard. If Fina sounds like a familiar name as a last name for an offensive lineman, it should. Remember all the way back to John Fina. Played 11 years in the NFL and was a part of a couple of those Super Bowl teams for the Bills in the early 90s.
How about that? Just great bloodlines. We've seen that a couple times so far this year.
God, did I hate that team. One of many teams I hate.
No question.
The Dolphins of the 80s. The Patriots of like the last, feels like 50 years. Mensah, one-on-one. Andrell Anthony wide open into the red zone. Well, they lined up that diamond formation to the far side of the field. That left Anthony on an island, and he was able to convert for 14.
Andrell Anthony just won at the line of scrimmage. His release had the defensive back, Zachary Toby, just spinning around in a circle.
Shepard up the gut. At the 7, possibly the 6-yard line before forward progress is stopped. It'll be 2nd down and 4.
And you just see what offensive coordinator Jonathan Brewer is seeing, right? Georgia Tech starts this drive with 2 safeties high, so the box is a little bit light. So he says, hey, you know what? We'll emphasize the running game. As soon as they jump into anything that looks like single safety middle or an 8-man box, he's going to start exploiting the matchups on the outside. You've seen it with Landon King, the tight end who goes 6'5", Andrell Anthony there, one of the better receivers they have down here in the red area. Now they've got the hammer back in, Anderson Castle.
And they've got number 63, Bradley Smith, and is a 6th offensive lineman. Castle behind 6 offensive linemen. And some big tight ends. Close to a 1st down inside the 5.
I think if you are Jonathan Brewer, the play caller for Duke, you're thinking right here, okay, look, we cannot have any ball handling issues here. We cannot shoot ourselves in the foot. What's the good plays? But again, the plays that we have a high degree of success, like that.
Straight ahead run. Short of the 1st down for Castle. Now, they're not getting fancy with any of the zone read possible mesh points the way that Mensah and Castle coughed it up that resulted in the Georgia Tech touchdown. This time straight ahead power football, but now it's 4th down.
You see they're going to go for it here, and they're getting their speed back on the field. You see Quayshawn Brown back on the field, Samir Hagens back on the field, Cooper Barkate back on the field.
You like
Nate
this
Shepard.
ball?
I do. I think defensively they're playing real good football. They have been winning the one-on-ones on the perimeter. I think they're going to get Mensah outside here.
Flags thrown. This might change everything. Duke believes this is a penalty against Georgia Tech.
Delay of game, defense, disconcerting signals. Penalties half the distance to the goal, results in a 1st down.
So that's a 1st down for Duke. Disconcerting signals called against Georgia Tech.
Look, you can see they're trying to shift the front and move the front down. And you can see defensive end Braden Manley trying to get the defensive line to move. I wonder if they think that that is maybe them trying to simulate the clapping. I mean, I don't understand what that would have been unless someone audibly was saying something, but I think they're trying to say that Braden Manley was trying to simulate the snap count when really he was just trying to get his D lineman.
Shepard to the goal line. Did he break the play? The officials running in from each side. No signal as of yet. They'll say he was short. It'll be 2nd down and goal inside the 1.
You're going to see here, Georgia Tech gets some knockback at the line of scrimmage. That's just a heck of a job. I believe that is 99 Vandenberg, who just takes his guy and bench presses him in the backfield. That's what you got to do down here when you're playing goal line defense. You have got to reset the line of scrimmage.
Kyle Eford was right in the middle of it as well. The leading tackler the last 2 years. Castle now back in. He bounces. Eford wraps him up. Some help from Jai Gilmore. Gilmore, I think, got there first. Short of the goal line again.
Watch Vandenberg. He does it again. Just look at the point of attack. You see how he just takes the guard, or the center rather, Matt Craycraft, and just puts him back into the backfield. And Castle has to redirect where he's going. It messes up the timing of the entire play. mean, that is two very, very good snaps by this Georgia Tech defensive line that has given them a chance.
The heavy group still on the field for Duke. Anderson Castle is the tailback. They give it to him. He gets another push. Is he short? It looks like he might be.
Bob, it's 3 in a row. That's 3 in a row. Jordan Vanderberg, win, win, win. Just bottling up the middle. The defensive interior players of this Georgia Tech defensive line just playing their tails off. You see Vanderberg, 6'3", 310 pounds. I mean, he's just absolutely, he was a transfer formerly of Penn State. This is his second year at Georgia Tech. That's just big-time football. Big-time football. Give yourself a chance. Get them the 4th down. Now you're thinking, if you're Jonathan Brewer, the play caller, what are you doing now? You can see a lot of discussion down there on the sidelines for Duke, trying to figure out what personnel they want in the game.
It looks like they had...
The clock was stopped for an injured player, number 53 of the offense. It's 4th down.
Yeah, 53, Brian Parker, the right tackle, hobbled off the field. So now the clock and the play clock should both start. 4th down and goal. Georgia Tech trying for a goal line stand. Darian Mensah now, straight up shotgun. Anderson Castle to his right, and flags are thrown.
Illegal substitution. Offense. 5-yard penalty. 4th down.
Wow. Well, now it's going to be 4th down from outside the 5-yard line. That will bring the field goal group in.
That's just not a good sequence for Duke. Just not a good sequence. When you're down here in the scoring zone, you're inside the 5-yard line. You've got to have a clean operation, and you've got to win at the point of attack, as you see head coach Manny Diaz right there. But give Georgia Tech credit. I mean, that right there was just an all-American style short yardage defensive play by Jordan Vandenberg. He made 3 plays in a row at the point of attack there. It's as good as you're going to see from a defensive lineman.
He was first team All-ACC last season. He might be on his way again there this year. This will be a 23-yard attempt for Polino. Dave Reynoldson, remember, in the first half on a short-range field goal, cost his team 3 points when he muffed the snap. This time the operation is perfect. So Duke has the lead, but Georgia Tech with a goal line stand to force a field goal. Let's take a look at the college football headlines presented by Twisted Tea. Louisville sends the Canes to their first loss of the ACC last night. Second win against an AP top 2 opponent in program history. The 2 big Florida schools go down at the hands of Louisville. Ole Miss, Georgia, and Tennessee, Alabama. That is our SEC on ABC doubleheader coming up later on this afternoon and tonight. And how much does that win by Louisville last night change the race in this league?
Oh, I mean, this opens it wide open. Look, we just love Jeff Brom, and we got to talk to him last year, him and his brother Brian, who run that offense down there in particular. They have got a heck of a program. They're so well coached. You just knew that game was going to be trouble.
Bobbled but returnable for Shane Marshall. He brings it out, pays the price, does not even reach the 15-yard line. So Georgia Tech finds themselves down by 3 when we come back. Papa Shoes and Lewis Riddick, Chris Budden, and it's been miscues today, Lewis, for Duke.
It sure has been. They haven't played complete football, especially when they're bound inside the 5-yard line, where they should be able to punch it in with their offensive line and their backs, and you just see Georgia Tech has prospered, and then you see here, clean snap, fumbled placement, and they're just not able to get the field goal attempt off, and then here 12 men on the field coming up to the line of scrimmage. You just can't have those kind of errors. They're too good of a football team, too talented to have those kind of things be what is causing them to slow down on the scoreboard. And Manny Diaz told us, he said, hey, look, we think we've reached the point where we're good enough to play any team that we don't need help. Well, they just can't give other teams help to beat them. And that's what they're doing right now, although they're leading on the scoreboard.
Worst field position of the day for Georgia Tech. Haynes King Long throw outside, timed up. It's going to be good for 8 yards to Eric Rivers. Now it's only 10-7, and we still have a quarter plus 5 minutes to go. But you think there's a chance Georgia Tech has to rethink their offensive game plan a bit?
Yeah, I think, look, they're going to need to score here, obviously. I mean, they're down on the scoreboard. I just think going the hard way as far as running the football against this front that has shown that they're up to the task as far as rallying to the ball carriers and limiting their effectiveness means that they just have to open up the passing game a little bit.
Straight quarterback run doesn't work here. Kendall Johnson all over Haynes King. Short of the first down to make it 3rd down and 1.
And you see a big part of why this running game has kind of been stifled a little bit is the fact that you have a player down on the field.
I think it's VJ Anthony.
Yeah, he got, it was friendly fire at the end of that play. His own player came in and hit him.
And that's a guy that's number 1 in the ACC, top 6 in the country in sacks. Number 1 in the ACC in tackles for loss. And part of that dynamic defensive line you've been talking about all day. He might be the linchpin. Good to see him sitting up. Let's get you your Aflac trivia question.
Aflac.
Georgia Tech and Duke tied for first place in the ACC. They've been in this league for a combined 116 seasons. So, Lewis, how many football conference championships have Duke and Georgia Tech combined to win in their years in the ACC?
Oh. In 116 years. In my research before this game, I don't know if I came across this statistic. As we see Vincent Anthony running off the field, which is a really, really good sign.
Indeed.
I don't know if I have 116 years of data in my brain right now, but I'm going to.
You know, if there's anybody in my life that might have 116 years worth of football data in their brain, you'd probably be it.
In some respects.
I would lean on you.
There's a lot of information that I have stored up in this head of mine.
It's 116 years worth of,
I don't know,
left guard footwork when it's time for the draft.
I don't know. Can I use Google here real quick? Or I don't know if that's allowed.
Let's see if we give you enough time.
Yeah.
A big play here. After the injury timeout, 3rd down and a yard. Haynes King's going to try to get it himself, and he will. Everything today, though, for Georgia Tech on offense has been hard.
It sure has.
And there have been a lot of games we've seen them this year where it hasn't looked anywhere near this difficult.
That's because this defensive front, they are just getting so much penetration. And they're playing really disciplined as far as defending what is, in essence, this triple option type of attack in the running game. You see here, just look how far down they're off of their averages so far this year. I know there's a lot of game to go.
Haynes King floats one wide open. Josh Beetham, the tight end. That's just a blown coverage for Duke. Beetham running free down to the 25-yard line of the Blue Devils. The biggest offensive play of the day for the Ramblin' Wreck.
What's going to wind up happening here is you're going to see the safety, Deshaun Stone. He just falls down at the break point right there. He just trips over his feet. And whenever you're covering someone man-to-man, you're following them, that's the danger you run. That's why you got to offset your body. You can't run right behind them. You got to kind of take a leverage point so you don't click their feet with yours and fall to the ground. That's exactly what happened to Deshaun Stone, or Deshaun Stone.
Ball Haynes. After a 49-yard catch and run by Josh Beetham, Aaron Hall, a grad student from right here at Durham, wraps him up. Aaron Hall, by the way, grew up not far away from VJ Anthony. They both grew up in Durham. And when VJ Anthony came, as he's back on the field, to Duke, the two got to know each other. Only then did Aaron Hall realize that VJ Anthony's mom had been his dentist his entire life.
It's such a great story when he told it.
And VJ Anthony's mom went to dental school at North Carolina. She's got a bunch of sky blue in her closet until VJ picked Duke. Haynes King, batted ball at the line, and Haynes King caught it, and I think lost it as he finally went to the ground. It ultimately will be an incomplete pass. Preston Watson got a hand on it.
You're going to see him right here, just watch him with the bull rush. Just continue to push the pocket, and get that right hand up at the end. That's how you bull rush. That's how you press the pocket, rush with lane integrity, and just not give a quarterback clear lines of sight to hit those second-level throws. Give this Duke defensive line a lot of credit. They have really played hard in this football game. They have won the battle of the line of scrimmage when they've been on the field.
Brent Key sees the play clock winding down. Let's see if he spends a timeout. He's going to have to, I think, before third down. They didn't get the snap off. Brent Key called timeout. Standing right next to the official because he could see the play clock winding down.
Prior to the snap, timeout. Georgia Tech, they're first. Please reset the game clock. 2:51, thank you.
Georgia Tech is 3 for 7 on third down, and they're down by a field goal. So the coach knows, big play coming up. Time now to answer our Aflac trivia question. Georgia Tech and Duke are tied for first place in the ACC, and their combined 116 seasons in the ACC. How many conference championships have they combined to win? 10. It's even more than we would have guessed.
Way more than I would have guessed. See those years, 1953 to 55, 60 to 62? I mean, how am I supposed to know that?
You know everything. Big third down here after the timeout. Haynes King. They want the screen. It was read to perfection. Jumping the route was Chandler Rivers. Well, he knew that was coming. 4th down and 8. And here comes the field goal unit.
You want to talk about studying your opponent. Maybe from the sky angle, we get a better view of that. But that is an excellent, excellent key by Chandler Rivers. He just took off like a rocket out of the snap. Almost had one of those spectacular pick six type of situations. Had that been a bad throw.
40-yarder for Aiden Burr. He's only missed one so far this season. And it was a blocked field goal of 51 yards against Wake. Smoothly knocks another one through. And we are tied. 2:45 to go in the third.
We're going to take another look at this. Just watch Chandler Rivers right here. Just watch his reaction at the snap. He's gone. He right away, obviously the motion, the set, all of it tipped him off as to maybe what was coming. You don't react that way as a defensive back unless you know something by formation or by motion. And he saw it. He saw glory right there. He saw it. If I can get my hand on this thing and get a one-handed pick,
might have been 7.
That absolutely. But this defense has been locked in the entire game for Duke. They have really played well at the first and second level against this explosive run game. And here we are tied, just as we thought it might be.
Now, there's a play like that. How much of that is the defensive coaching staff assigning him that responsibility right away, or is that a player being so well scouted and so well read during the week that he saw that, recognized it, and fired on his own?
Yeah, that's pre-game study tendencies playing out in real time.
Higgins already has a couple of chunk plays in this game, but you'll watch this one sail over his head. And you wonder how you put together
when you look
a roster, Chris Spudden, that's got so many transfers on it. Duke's been really good at it.
They do 9 of them, and all of them have significant playing time. So how do they go out and find a Cooper Barcade who came over from Harvard? It's thanks to Banuk Kadikwaku. He's the chief football strategy officer. Basically, he's in charge of salary cap and analytics. So they take Barcade's analytics from Harvard and then send them to a third-party analyst. They'll figure out how they fit in the ACC, because when you take such limited transfers, you can't really miss on them.
And they have basically been 9 for 9 in terms of transfers in the portal that have basically now littered their entire starting unit, Lewis.
They sure have. And look, I mean, and that's, look, when you marry the objective data with the subjective data, meaning the objective, the numbers, the height, weight, speed, explosive component numbers, football intelligent aptitude numbers with what you see on tape, and they all come together perfectly, that's how you have the greatest chance for success. And Duke has done it as well as anyone, clearly.
Mensah off play action. Floats a pass to the left. Flat, nice move by Nate Shepard. And another. breaking tackles, making men miss in the open field for 15 yards and a first down.
The other thing with Kadithawaku, what he told me is that using this analytic model, they're able to get on guys early. So when you're competing with the Georgia Techs of the world for the same guys, they've been looking at these guys for 2 years.
Shepard finds a crease, gets sawed in half. It's a heck of a hit by Daquan White. But when you're finding players from Appalachian State, from Harvard, that can come here and perform like this, Lewis, at this level, there's got to be some data and some insight that shows you and convinces coaches, yes, these guys are right for us.
Yeah, there are definite data points that really correlate to, higher probabilities of success, and they've obviously identified those. And again, there's always a subjective component. You have to watch the tape, and then you have to coach them up. And Duke, they're on to something.
Slant, tipped ball, incomplete. Good coverage from Melvin Jordan on Quayshawn Brown. And this is just nothing but success up and down the roster in terms of transfer additions for Duke.
Yeah, every one of these guys is playing, and they're contributing. I mean, Angelo Anthony has been spectacular. So has Cooper Barkett. I mean, you can't say much more about him. Anderson Castle's just been a hammer. Francois has been good in that nickel position. I mean, it's just nothing but hit after hit.
And Josiah Green, Caleb Weaver, both starters on the defense from Dartmouth and Sam Houston State. Mensah backpedaling. Mensah. Dangerous play to Barkett. Dropped it in with a flag in the secondary. Zachary Toby walloped Barkade. It's going to be a penalty, though, against Duke.
You get offensive pass interference on tight end Jake Taylor. He literally just reached out and picked a defender coming across the field. Wasn't real shy about doing it. I mean, it's right there. I mean, he literally reaches out and tries to push the guy as the route concept is being run.
That wasn't. It was a perfect description.
Pass interference. Offense, number 15. That penalty is declined. 4th down.
So with the tackle on Barkade, 5 yards short of the first down, Brent Key declines the penalty, and here comes Duke's punt group. Under a minute to go in the quarter.
A nice series by Georgia Tech's defense. Again, this Duke offense just sputtering a little bit, hurting themselves, not able to put some efficient plays together. Now you're giving the ball back to a real dangerous offense that's starting to find its groove a little bit, maybe throwing the football.
Stockton lets it drop, and it spins back. It becomes a downed punt at the 7-yard line. Curtis Cooper, the long snapper, downed it. Let's check in with Matt Barry. Familiar score. We are tied at 10. Half minute to go in the third quarter. Georgia Tech and Duke. And Tech forced to start from deep in their own end with a run to Jamal Haynes. Let's see if that takes us to the end of the quarter, or if Georgia Tech hustles and gets one more snap off. And they are taking their time looking over, and that might take us, and it will indeed, to the fourth quarter.
Just watching this Duke defense go up against this explosive run game of Georgia Tech, they've been so fundamentally sound to not allow anybody to break out of here with any explosive runs. And it's not by accident. They are playing it the way it needs to be played. This game's going to go down to a last possession. Who's going to make a mistake? Who's going to make the big play?
With Manny Diaz, you guys have moved the ball. You've done so well defensively. What is most important in this final quarter for your group?
We got to finish drives in the red zone, right? You got to give them credit for standing up tall down there. But if we finish drives in the red zone, the way we're moving the football, the points are going to come.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
That's Chris Budden with Manny Diaz, Bob Wischusen, and Louis Riddick start of the fourth quarter between Georgia Tech and Duke, and Manny Diaz is right, between the 20s. This game has been owned for the most part by Duke. But Georgia Tech has the ball in a tie game to start the fourth quarter.
Sometimes yardage in between the 20s is like empty calories, right? They're not really doing anything for you unless you can put it in the end zone.
Haynes King found a little hole to wiggle through and gets out to the 20-yard line to pick up a first down. That's a 10-yard gain.
Here's an example of this offensive line and its physicality. Just look at the left tackle, Ethan McKinney. Just look what he does to the edge player trying to set the edge and force. He just buries him. These are the kind of things that you see this offensive line when you throw on their tape doing time after time, game after game.
Jamal Haynes, little jet sweep action, sticks his right foot in the ground for 5 yards.
And Caleb Weaver, free safety, coming from depth, trying to come down and make this hit. He's made so many big plays already early in this football game. You see how these running backs, this two-headed monster of Hosley and Haynes, they have been so dangerous. They've been kept in check in this football game. Duke's defense is going to have to rise to the challenge here for 14 more minutes.
Hosley has 5 yards rushing on 6 attempts. Here he's in pass protection. Eric Rivers tried to make a one-handed catch but drew a flag. Kamari Robinson had him one-on-one. And looked like he got a little tug of the right arm while Rivers tried to make a one-handed catch with the left hand.
Here you're going to see it. This man-to-man coverage on the go route.
Defense, number 5. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
And you're going to see he tries to avoid contact. It's the hardest thing to do. We see it at all levels of football. The underthrown go ball with the defensive back not in phase and trailing the receiver and having to try and slow down instantly as the wide receiver tries to come back for the football. He threw his hands up trying to avoid contact. It's just such a hard play. And I know most people will scream, well, you got to get your head around. Well, you try running full speed to try and catch up to a receiver and then stop and turn your head around. These guys aren't robots. That's not how it works. That's why you see these flags thrown more times than not.
And off to Rivers for 2.5. Eric Rivers was a walk-on at Memphis as a defensive back. Then he walked on at FIU as a wide receiver. And FIU became an All-American. I mean, talk about analytics, finding your way through the portal, making your way up to the Power 4 level, and now he's at Georgia Tech as a 5th-year senior.
That's player development for you. Continuing to work at it, trusting your coaches putting you in great positions, and ultimately finding your groove.
Play action for Haynes King. He's going to loft another one wide open, but he overthrows Dean Patterson. Oh, it's a walk-in touchdown if Haynes King can put it on Patterson.
And you're going to see here the safety in the corner. They're trying to combo this route down the field. It's almost like a scissors type of concept where you pass it off. You're going to see here, you're going to see the safety, Stone. He thinks he's going to take that 7 route, and late he realizes that the corner is turning loose the post of Dean Patterson. Almost a catastrophic error.
Haynes King again, this time looking on a one-on-one ball for Isaiah Canyon, who makes a terrific catch for a 3rd down conversion.
Everybody knows who listens to us call Georgia Tech football games. Long been a fan of Isaiah Canyon. Just look how high up off the ground he is. Did you see that vertical jump? And he's already 6'4", 215 pounds.
Hosley, nice move. Boy, he worked hard for his 7th yard rushing of the day.
Hey, Duke just puts pressure on you. They are constantly attacking the line of scrimmage. He broke the tackle of Luke Murgat, the linebacker who just fired downhill. We've got another guy down on the ground.
Harrison Moore, the starting center, although he quickly sat up. But we have an injury timeout, so we'll step aside. Georgia Tech driving in the 4th. Welcome back to ESPN College Football, presented by ServPro. Bob Wischusen, Louis Riddick, Chris Budden here in Durham. We are tied at 10. 2.5 minutes gone by in the 4th quarter. And after the injury timeout, 2nd down and a long 8, close to 9. And an odd formation here, trick formation, it would seem, for Georgia Tech. Haynes King off play action, right over the middle. It works to perfection. Down to the 5-yard line, it's a 1st and goal. J.T. Byrne, 21 yards.
Yeah, you just got to know who the eligible players are and determine who could go downfield and receive a pass.
That is J.T. Byrne's 2nd career catch. So obviously that's not a player that's going to show up in the scouting report if you're Duke. And he was open for a reason, not expecting to be the guy you'd throw the ball to.
You're going to see him right here. He's eligible. And man on the line of scrimmage, the guy outside of him is off the ball. He's the 7th man on the line of scrimmage on that side of the formation. Just releases down the field. Duke doesn't identify who the eligibles are. And then just turn him loose down the middle of the field. That's the creativity of offensive coordinator Buster Faulkner, pulling it out at the right time.
Caleb Weaver is hurt. It's good to see him sitting up. Well, our ACC Network football lineup will continue this afternoon. SMU squaring off against Clemson at 3:30 Eastern. And then we will cap the night with Pitt-Syracuse at 7:30 Eastern. Both games are available as well on the all-new ESPN app. That's a valuable member of that Duke defense that has to come off for at least one play, but it is good to see Caleb Weaver walking off the field.
He has made some big-time plays in this game already. He, Chandler Rivers, Deshaun Stone has made some big ones as well. And now they have a chance here at the 5-yard line, see if they can go ahead and show some resolve and keep Georgia Tech out of the end zone.
They stack 2 receivers to the short side. Haynes King keeps it himself and gets to the 5-yard line. Held it in the belly of Jamal Haynes for as long as he could, then just dove ahead. Wesley Williams made the stop. This is the longest and best drive of the day so far for Georgia Tech. Can they pay it off? They haven't been any better in the red zone this year in terms of touchdown percentage than Duke has been.
The thing that makes them so difficult is the fact that Haynes King is such a good runner, and it's 11-on-11 football down here. We've seen it in previous Georgia Tech games. You have to account for him. You have to play fast, but play smart.
Rollout for King. Floats one into the end zone, broken up. Jamal Haynes was out of bounds even if he had made a play on that ball.
That's really nice recognition by the safety. Deshaun Stone, again, picking up the running back, Jamal Haynes, out of the backfield. You see there, he just steps out of bounds. No longer eligible. That's just good team defense. Again, everything happens so fast down here. You have to be on the details immediately. And with the way this team can attack the perimeter with the run game, makes it all the more difficult.
Mosley in motion. Haynes King off his back foot into the end zone. Incomplete. Isaiah Canyon thought he had it and could not complete the catch as he was hit in the back of the end zone. It'll be 4th and goal from the 5, and they'll send the field goal group out.
Just watch Kamari Robinson at the end of this play continue to fight. You see there, he's got the ball secured. Then as he's going to the ground, the ball starts to come out. I think you'll see it on a different angle as Robinson just continues to pull at.
Replay wants to at least talk about it.
The ruling on the field of an incomplete pass is under review.
He got 2 feet down. Did he have control and I guess make the move that would complete the process of the catch? Is the question. This is as close as it gets, but Kamari Robinson never gave up on this play.
He sure did. You see the right arm. He's got it inside, right at the bend of the elbow.
How about the ACC Game Day Operations Center in Charlotte allowing us to listen in?
Replay A.
So,
what is this? B.
All right, do you hear that, Justin?
Yeah, we got B here.
I see the multi right now.
Okay, so this player is going to the ground.
Correct.
So when he goes to the ground, he does not maintain control of the ball. Therefore, we have an incomplete pass. The ruling on the field is upheld.
Ruling on the field is upheld. It's 4th down.
Yes.
Correct.
Copy that. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
After review, the ruling on the field is upheld. 4th down.
So again, a very quick review, but it's still so wonderful to be able to listen into that conversation, and they basically said the same thing you said.
Yeah, I mean, you got to give Kamari Robinson a ton of credit for not giving up on that play, continuing to fight all the way through to the completion of the catch. Otherwise, that's a big-time throwing catch from King to Canyon.
So a chip shot field goal for Aiden Burr of 23 yards to try to give Georgia Tech the lead back. And he will do just that. Both teams, though, have gotten red zone stops and held to field goal attempts.
ESPN College Football is presented by ServPro, the #1 choice in cleanup and restoration.
The last time Georgia Tech was taken down by Duke, will it happen again today? The miscues for the Blue Devils have cost them points. A fumble that started the game where it turned into a Georgia Tech touchdown the other way. And the longest and best drive for Georgia Tech got all the way down to the 5-yard line, but resulted in only a field goal. So we've got a 3-point game with 11 minutes to go. Bob Wischusen here with Louis Riddick and Chris Budden, and now Duke about to get the ball back.
Duke, you got to find a way here to complete some drives. I mean, this yardage that's being made between the 20s, got to figure out a way to finish it.
Now we've got our officiating expert, Jerry McGinn. And Jerry, we went back and took another look at the potential Canyon touchdown. And if you were in the replay room, you have been arguing for 6 points here.
Right, Bob. I see this as the receiver has control of the ball. He has possession of the ball in the end zone. And then the second act is the defender is bringing him to the ground. So the catch process, in my view, is already completed. It should have been a touchdown.
Interesting.
That's a great discussion right there. I mean, that ambiguity with that rule as far as what constitutes finishing the catch and what doesn't, I mean, it's one that's... I mean, we've had multiple games like that.
Mensa throws one away. I'm not sure if there was a receiver in the area. Looked like he was still inside the tackle box. And there's the flag. I think this is going to be intentional grounding.
Intentional grounding. Offense, number 10. Penalties, a loss of down on the spot of the foul. 2nd down.
So that has the force and effect of a sack. It's going to be 2nd down and long for Duke.
Yeah, Samir Hagans was out of the picture. You're going to see him at the top of the screen. He's just running a go route. Darian knows that he's under pressure and just tries to launch the ball out of bounds. Maybe Barkay coming into the picture late.
Jai Gilmore came on the blitz. He was all over Mensa as well. So now it's 2nd down. All the way back inside the 20-yard line. Mensa tucks it under. Slides out to the 24-yard line. Some contact. And the Duke sideline was upset as Eford came flying in. A 6-yard gain. 3rd down and 11.
I think that looked worse than it was. Actually, there wasn't any real hard, significant contact at the end of that play, but nevertheless, you're here in a 3rd and long type of situation. One of the things that you've seen starting to happen is the interior of the Duke offensive line is getting pushed back. Give Georgia Tech's defensive tackles credit. They are really collapsing this pocket. And Darian looks a little unsettled when he's sitting inside the pocket.
6 at the line for Duke. And they're bringing a blitz. Mensa floats one down the sideline, broken up. No flag out. Jai Gilmore got a hand in front of Jaden Moore.
And this time it's Clayton Powell-Lee. Watch him coming untouched right down the pike. You said Blake Gideon, the defensive coordinator for Georgia Tech, has identified the fact that Darian Mensa is not real comfortable when he's getting pressure in his face, getting people deposited back in his lap. And they've been able to kind of unsettle him a little bit and kind of get this offense out of sorts.
Jai Gilmore continues to make plays, one of your impact players on the back end for the Georgia Tech defense.
Yeah, he has been tackling, he has been playing physical. These safeties have been all around the football all game long.
Bailey Stockton, fair catch at the Georgia Tech 28-yard line. So Tech has the lead and the ball with under 10 minutes to go. All right, Matt, thanks very much. So many close games in college football. We've called a bunch. There's one happening, obviously, in the SEC between Vandy and LSU. And now Georgia Tech, number 12 in the country. Their highest ranking since they finished in the top 10 back in 2014. They've got the ball. They've got the lead. They've got a chunk play to midfield. A first down, catch and run to Luke Harpring for 23 yards.
And that is a laser. Watch Harpring just coming at the tight end. You can see him release up the field, go up over the top, the linebacker, Luke Murgott, and he's off to the races. Harpring has shown some nice ability as a receiver as far as his speed, his savviness, as far as finding zone holes, run after the catch. And Haynes King, look, I know you're a runner, man, but that is a heck of a throw in a big spot for them.
Straight quarterback run for King. Stays in bounds inside the 40. Down close to the 39-yard line. It's a gain of 9 yards. Josiah Green made the stop. Bob Wischusen here with Lewis Riddick, Chris Budden, Jerry McGinn, our officiating expert. Georgia Tech trying to move to 7-0 for the first time since 1966. Duke has not been 4-0 in the ACC since 1994. They are 3-0 right now. And their defense has pitched a second-half shutout in their last 2 wins. And they've only allowed 3 points in the second half today. They trip up Malachi Cosley here as Luke Murgott grabbed Hosley around the ankles, but it's good for a first down.
You see Georgia Tech just continuing the grind. Throw the football when necessary. They've got some nice receivers. And you saw Harpring in that over route from the tight end position. Then he had a nice block on the run by Haynes King out on the perimeter. And now Hosley and Jamal Haynes is going to work inside. It's a tough offense to really deal with because they just grind on you for a full 60 minutes and just make you have to really pay attention to every single detail.
King goes down. Behind the line of scrimmage, tackled for loss. Again, Josiah Green. A Dartmouth transfer, helped out by Samaj Turner on the stop. And slow to get up, and now VJ Anthony, after causing an injury timeout, does trot off to the sideline, but he'll get looked at.
This is just a critical drive for Duke. You don't want to go down 2 scores here with the clock starting to become a factor as Georgia Tech really tries to take some air out of this game. You see here how they have really picked it up in the second half and really found their groove. You see the yardage has really ticked up. Some big plays in the passing game. You can never fall asleep with their ability to throw the football.
And both defenses, though, have been very good. Haynes King over the middle. Diving attempt down to the 28-yard line. They will call that a Jordan Allen catch, it appears, for 5. Or check that for 7. So it's going to be 3rd and 5. Very important play here as Duke needs a defensive stop.
I mean, it's almost critical, right, Bob, that you really keep this as a nothing gain or even a negative play, because if this gets down inside of 4th and 2, 4th and 1, 4th and 3, you know Georgia Tech at this point probably going to go for it. And again, you got to keep them out of the end zone, keep them off the scoreboard. Looks like it's going to be a 0 blitz situation, trying to bring maximum pressure.
They all are on the way, and beating the blitz is Haynes King to Bailey Stockton for a first down.
I mean, that right there is just great. I mean, it's really him versus him. It's Murgott versus King. He knows who's coming, and he knows what his hot is. He gets it immediately. Immediately, he gets it to Bailey Stockton. Stockton recognizes the situation as well. He cuts his route off. You see he runs a quick slant, Defensive back giving too much cushion, can't come down on it and prevent the first down. That's great execution.
Haynes King, quarterback power, finds a crease into the red zone. Close to another first down. 9 more yards on the ground for Haynes King. Again, this is a rushing attack that averages 238 yards per game. Top 11 in the country. They have just now gone over 100 yards rushing today. But that's how good the Duke defense has been.
No doubt, no doubt. But this is vintage Georgia Tech. Just stay in it, stay in it. They've been in these close games before. They're not uncomfortable. You see Brett Key there on the sideline. And you can just read his body language. He knows that his team is starting to find its rhythm right here.
Mosley's the fullback again. They give it to him again, and his face mask is met by Caleb Weaver.
I mean, pound for pound, Caleb Weaver at 5'11", 190 pounds, he has made his presence known in this game. My man has been putting some big-time shots on people, as has this whole Duke defense.
First and goal. 5:15 to go. Seems as simple as this, Lewis. Duke holds to a field goal. We obviously have a game. They give up a touchdown. It feels like game over.
Yep.
It comes down to this drive for Georgia Tech. Mosley. Spin cycle to the end zone for a touchdown. And now Georgia Tech has their 2-score lead with under 5 minutes to go.
It's the blocking at the point of attack, and then Mosley one-on-one against safety Caleb Weaver, who we had just talked about, and he wins the battle.
Sixth rushing touchdown of the season for Malachi Mosley. .457 remaining. Duke has their timeouts and the 2-minute timeout, but now they need 2 scores.
It's just great blocking. Just watch. You get block, block, kick out, and then it's just one-on-one in the hole against the safety, Caleb Weaver, and he makes him miss. Hat on hat, just perfect, just like you draw it up, and there you see the spin move. I don't know, what is that, the B button when you're playing Madden?
I don't know.
I mean, just look at it though. It's perfect right there. He executes it perfectly, under control. He looks back at him like, hey man, there's nothing you can do against that. I respect you, but there's nothing you can do. That's just good football. That is just good football on the part of Tech. Duke has played their rear end off. They have come up with some big-time plays, but Tech just made the plays that they needed to make right there and went right back to the well with what they do best.
The only small silver lining for Duke is that Georgia Tech scored on first down.
Right.
So that saves maybe 90 seconds, maybe more, if it would have taken them 3 snaps to get in the end zone. So we'll see if this game is indeed over, or if Duke has a miracle comeback up their sleeve after we check in with Matt Barrett. Must-watch appointment television as soon as we're done here between Duke and Georgia Tech. I won't change the channel. So Mensa needs 2 scores, and they'll need scores quickly. They can't find Barcade on first down.
Yeah, you just gotta hit these now. Every possession is crucial. Every play is crucial. Darian Mensa has to be at his very best. They have to be on the same page now in order to get back into this football game. See if they can get the ball back again. They need 2 possessions. They got to work quick and be efficient.
And again, they are top 7 in the country in chunk plays of 20-plus yards and 30-plus yards. They're going to need some explosives in the last 5 minutes to have a chance. Mensa rolling out, directing traffic, flag down. He'll scamper to the sideline. But let's see. We have not had many penalties today. This one, it looks like, is going to be a crucial one, though, back at the line of scrimmage against Duke.
I think you're going to get a holding on Brian Parker.
Holding. Offense, number 53. 10-yard penalty. First down.
This is going to be on the right tackle because Darian's escaping out to his right and changing the launch point. You're just going to see he starts to lose the defender and just grabs him. And that time it was Matt Alexander.
That's the 6th penalty against Duke. Well, it's 4-down territory. The clock's rolling as well. 4:40 to go. So you've got 3 snaps to get 20 yards. And Georgia Tech shows blitz. They back out, rush only 4. Mensah, as a result, has time. Comeback route down the sideline, timed up perfectly to Samir Hagans.
That's excellent by Darian Mensah. He signals to the wide receiver, don't keep running the go, come back to me, as he escapes out to his left, and Samir Hagans reads it perfectly and just starts working back towards the quarterback. That's great communication.
Another 4-man rush. Mensah, another long throw to Barkay. He stays in bounds and gains yards after the catch inside the 40-yard line of Georgia Tech. The other good news, of course, Lewis, for Duke is they are built to go fast. This is the way they play.
Yeah, everything that they do philosophically is really tailor-made for this kind of moment. You just got to execute now. Somebody's got to break a tackle and make a big play.
Mensah to Barkay. Close to another first down.
And if you're Blake Gideon, the defensive coordinator for Georgia Tech, that's what you're telling your guys right now. Just keep it in front of us and make the tackle. Don't let Barkay break a tackle. Don't let Hagans break a tackle. Don't get beat off the line of scrimmage. Just play fundamentally sound.
.168 yards receiving now for Barkay. Mensah dumps it off. That one's dropped. Jake Taylor couldn't hold on. That'll stop the clock with 3:06 to go.
You see the secondary of Georgia Tech just playing with a lot of depth.
Manny Diaz always has the analytics numbers close by as well. Again, you need 2 scores here. Sometimes teams obsess on getting the touchdown first, where you have to have enough time to get a second score. Sometimes kicking the field goal first is the better way to go as Georgia Tech blitzes. High throw, incomplete. Not sure if that was intended for Nate Shepard or Jeremiah Hazley. He threw it over both. So now it's 3rd down and 10 with 3:02 remaining.
And Hazley got caught up against E.J. Lightsey trying to cross the field. I was wondering if there was going to be a flag thrown for pass interference. But again, you see they continue to try and assault the interior of the pocket for Duke to make Mensah have to roll out and get to maybe his 2nd and 3rd reads. Will they send pressure here again?
Only a 4-man rush. Mensah, seam shot, knocked away.
That's an excellent play by Tajay Butler in that cover 2 of running with the seam up the middle. You're going to see Butler right here. Just watch him turn and get depth and then try and get his head around and tip that ball away. You can't play that any better. The middle of the field is wide open in that split safety look. Mensah thought he had one down the seam. Butler closes it off. It's as good as you can play it.
So Polino from 46 to try to keep the game alive. It's got plenty of leg. No good. Missed it right. With 2:52 to go, you would think any hope that Duke had just sailed wide of the upright.
You see the snap and hold. Laces out. Just can't get it to curve inside that right upright.
Oh. I mean, less than a yard. Just outside the right upright. Had that gone through, they had time. And maybe to not even necessarily onside kick. This is going to be a what could have been day for Manny Diaz. He knows how many points his team left out there on the field today.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. And if you're Georgia Tech, you're thinking, hey, look, no, we took it from you. We capitalized on your mistakes. We out-executed in the one goal line stand situation.
It'll be a false start on Georgia Tech.
And look, if you're Duke right now, you're figuring, hey, look.
False start. Offense, number 72. 5-yard penalty. First down.
Well, for the Ramblin' Wreck now, it's just about protect the ball. Even if you go 3 and out, forcing Duke to use their timeouts in the process, they still need 2 scores.
That's what I was going to say. You got to, first guy's got to stand the ball carrier up. Second guy's got to find a way to get this ball. You've got to be desperate to create a turnover in some way.
Malachi Hosley to the line of scrimmage and no further. Murgat, another tackle for Duke, and the timeout called by Manny Diaz.
Timeout.
2:48 to go. Georgia Tech has a 10-point lead.
Reset the game clock to 2:49.
But it did not look like that was going to be the type of game we would have when it started. And it started with an Omar Daniels scoop and score. This is the first touchdown of the game for Georgia Tech.
The ease with which Duke moved the football down the field, you thought, is this how it's going to be today? Darian Mensah just throwing the football at will. They're able to go ahead and tie the game up. Touchdown pass to Landon King, and then here, this run by Malachi Hosley. That's as good as it gets. Excellent blocking at the point of attack. Haynes King making some big-time runs on that drive as well. Some big-time throws. Luke Harpring showing up in the passing game. It's been a total team effort on the part of Georgia Tech today. Everyone has made their plays and had their time. In the defense, the goal line stand, we have to talk about Jordan Vandenberg.
Yeah.
I mean, he was just dominant in that goal line sequence. It's as good as you could possibly be.
Haynes King, a keeper. And he ends up on the top of the pile, getting carried around like a victorious coach. Finally, they let him down. You're right, Vandenberg, 3 straight plays, blue plays up at the goal line, which forced 4th down, forced Duke to have to try a 4th down play, and then they put 12 men on the field, and all of a sudden they're settling for a field goal. And they're never in that position without Vandenberg doing this, Lewis. This might have, by any individual player today, been the biggest game-changing sequence.
I mean, you can just see it at the point of attack. He's just resetting the line of scrimmage and making running backs have to stop their feet behind the line of scrimmage again. You see he just deposits the safety, Matt Craycraft, back into the backfield. Again, he stands up Matt Craycraft, and then here comes the pursuit. Again, where they can't get going and gain any momentum. And then Duke, just uncharacteristically, making the kind of pre-snap errors as far as the substitution that you just can't have when you're down in there, especially playing against a team like Tech that can hog the ball, take the air out of the clock, take time off of the clock. It's just been one of those workmanlike performances on the part of Tech. And for Duke, they're going to go back and watch this tape, and Manny Diaz is going to think, man, we let another one get away from us.
And the fumble down at the goal line that results in the Omar Daniels touchdown. They muff a snap on a mid-range field goal that probably cost them 3 more points. Just missed a field goal. Haynes King, blockers in front. He's got a 1st down and more. Haynes King across midfield to the Duke 42. On 3rd down and forever, but a flag thrown in the offensive backfield. This all might be coming back.
Personal foul, illegal hands to the face. Defense, number 4. 15-yard penalty added to the end of the run. Automatic 1st down.
Not only is it not coming back, but it adds on at the end of Haynes King run. And now that will end the game for Georgia Tech.
Yeah, you're going to see Josiah Green right here. You're going to see his hands just get up into the face of Harrison Moore. Right there, you see the helmet starting to come off immediately. It's a little bit of frustration. It's poor technique, all combined right now. Knowing that the realization is setting in that you're just not making the plays that you need to make, and this game is just kind of slipping away from you slowly but surely.
So unless Manny Diaz opts to use his final timeout, Georgia Tech can just about end the game here. Haynes King cruising to the end zone. Touchdown. I think he thought about taking a knee inside the 10-yard line.
Sure did.
But now they're an extra point away from a 3-score lead.
Instead, Haynes King said, I'll take my 10th TD of the season. Thank you very much. 10th rushing TD of the season. I mean, he has just been a worker, an absolute worker today.
Third consecutive year that Haynes King has run for at least 10 touchdowns. And that also adds to his Georgia Tech record of 15 games with 100 yards passing and 100 yards throwing as well.
You just see, watch all the pursuit. He fakes it and then just takes it north and south. Just watch how the pull action and the fake pitch gets everybody pursuing to the offense's right. You see how it affected the linebacker, Luke Murgott, and it just opened up a huge rushing lane for Haynes King to then decide, do I go ahead and take a knee? Do I slide down here, or do I get my stats? And then really cement this game. I mean, he has just been so good for this offense. Look, he was actually, he looked over at the sideline. Should I go down?
Yeah, should I take a knee? Wanted guidance from the sideline. I guess Brent Key said, no, go ahead and score. Why not? And by the way, being the professional broadcaster that I am, could not have botched that statistic more as the crowd exiting here in Durham. That's 7 career games now for Haynes King, where he has at least 100 yards rushing and 100 yards passing in the same game. The 4th time he's done that this year.
The best compliment you can give Haynes King is that he is just the ultimate football player. The ultimate football player and leader at the most important position in sports, the quarterback spot.
He's the only player in the ACC that coming into today was averaging more total offense per game than Haynes King was Darian Mensah. We had the top 2 quarterbacks in total offense in the ACC going head-to-head today. And Mensah did not disappoint as well. 298 yards passing and a touchdown. And Haynes King 205 yards to go along with 120 rushing and a touchdown. And Mensah's going to add to those totals now, but this is going to be academic as he finds Landon King. So that'll put him over 300 yards on the day. And we come to the 2-minute timeout.
That is the 2-minute timeout.
2 minutes to go, and it's a 17-point Georgia Tech lead.
The keys to victory, they played out in Georgia Tech's favor today. Offensively, they had to neutralize these dynamic defensive ends, holding them to a combined 5 tackles. I think that's getting the job done for Duke. You had to limit the missed tackles. You see 16 missed tackles. You're not going to win many games doing that. Offensively, they tried to build a lead, and they did build a lead. They just didn't capitalize on some red zone opportunities and had a turnover that was just crucial in the game. And for Georgia Tech defensively, limit the explosive plays. They've had a few times in the deep part of the field, but I'll tell you, give Blake Gideon, the young defensive coordinator for Georgia Tech, who's a rising superstar as far as the coaches are concerned, a lot of credit for identifying, hey, look, maybe we should be attacking down the middle here as far as our blitz packages and our rush integrity to really move this quarterback off his spot, because he has made Darian Mensah uncomfortable.
Mensah throws it away, and in the area was Barcade.
And there you saw it again. Only rushing with 4, but his guys, and Jordan Vandenberg in particular, again, we've talked about his ability to really be a force down on the goal line, but man, when they have moved some of their faster guys like Braden Manley, he's had a couple good rushes inside. You see him inside again right now, rushing over the guard. They found some spots for people to really affect the game.
Check down to Shepard. Well, this is one of those textbook examples of, as you said earlier, how empty and meaningless at times yards between the 20s can be.
Yeah.
If you can't execute in the red zone offensively or on special teams. And Manny Diaz, that's going to be the film he's going to show his team. Guys, we got the ball down to where you should be scoring points.
Yep.
We just left points on the field.
Yep. I use the analogy of empty calories. I mean, It feels like you're eating, but you're not really getting any benefit out of it. And you're still hungry again for more. And they need more points, and they just weren't able to get them because they can't get down into the goal line or into the end zone.
You just described my life.
I like empty calories, too.
3 possessions in the red zone, only 1 field goal to show for it. And remember, one of those red zone drives resulted in a Georgia Tech touchdown. Wayshawn Brown all the way down inside the 20-yard line with 1:24 to go.
And they've been doing this all day, right? I mean, the passing game has looked spectacular at times. They have some great matchup players on the perimeter, and they have a dynamic young back. It's just, again, the execution at this area of the field.
Mensa's going to take a shot to the end zone, 50-50 ball, and it's caught. Touchdown, Samir Hagans. Oh, what a war for the football that was, and Hagans won it.
That is how you battle. And just watch Hagans. He's just running the fade. And you can see the defensive back is in perfect position. But they have been going after Rodney Shelley all game long. And they went after him again. This time they win the battle. This feels like it's too little, too late.
You can go for 2 here if you want to try and make the score that much closer, but even if you convert this, you're still down by 2 scores with 1:13 to go. So Mensa going to look end zone, extending the play, and just throws a jump ball in the back of the end zone. Is it caught? The officials converge. It is. Barkade does it again. That catch in traffic that was.
That is an incredible catch by Barkade. Watch his left foot. He's able to rise up. Again, we talked about contested catch situations, how he's able to come down with the football. Ball secured. Look at the left foot. From this angle, it is clearly in bounds.
That's an amazing catch.
It's absolutely amazing.
Barkade in a losing effort, or what looks to be a losing effort, 13 catches, 172 yards, and now add on that 2-point conversion, which might have been his best catch of the day.
I mean, that is rare contested catch ability. And he had that. That was part of his scouting report. You could see it on the tape as we were getting prepared for this game, and he has lived up to all of the hype. And he has shown nothing but production.
So that was the go for Dose attempt, brought to you by Dos Equis. And it was a successful attempt. And now the hands team out there for Georgia Tech, as Duke will try an onside kick. Still down by 2 scores, even with the 2-point conversion. They kick it towards Stockton to the sideline. It was almost Barkade that couldn't hold on. And if Barkade catches that ball, he might have been off to the races. There is a flag down on the play.
There are 2 fouls, both by the kicking team. Offside, kicking team, number 97. That penalty is declined. Free kick out of bounds, kicking team. The ball be placed 5 yards from the out-of-bounds spot. First down.
Well, it would have been a shame for Cooper Barkade if this would have come back. It would have, but if he catches this on the dead run and flags weren't thrown, he can just run down the sideline.
See, they ran a little twist out there between Barkade, I believe, and Wesley Williams was on that onside kick attempt. They had it drawn up the right way. He may have left a little early. It got him offsides. Called him for being offsides. But
well, now it's just victory formation for Georgia Tech. There's 1 timeout left for Duke, but
folks, that guy right there on your screen, Brent Key, that is a good football coach. And this team plays in his image. Hard-nosed, tough. They built this team inside out, meaning the offensive line in particular plays the way that he coaches it. He's detail-oriented, special teams-oriented. These guys really care about one another. We went to the hotel last night. They had ping pong tables set up. He said, look, I want these guys loose. I don't want it being like it was when I played, when everything was so tense and you couldn't talk at team dinner and people walking around all rigid and uptight. You see that he has jump written on the side of his hat. I wonder what that meant.
Well, they're about to continue to jump up the ACC standings.
They sure are. And the national standings.
Who knows? You might be looking at a top 10 team before too long. Another win for Georgia Tech. And they are now 7-0 for the first time since they started 9-0. in 1966.
That's amazing. It's amazing. He is really, Bob, he's put together a heck of a squad. And I know we enjoy every time we talk to him. It's one of those where it's almost like you're not talking to, like not having a production meeting with a coach. You're just talking to just a football guy who gives you some life stories, gives you some football stories, talks about his players. Like, you can tell he just cares.
And he went to Georgia Tech.
Yeah.
Right, a graduate back in 2000, played at Georgia Tech. He is at his alma mater, and it means something to him, a lot to him, that he is doing this at his school.
No question. I mean, they are right in the thick of it. Obviously in the ACC with Miami's loss, and they're in it in the national picture as well. I mean, this is a football team, but Manny Diaz pointed it out to us. Had it not been for a close loss to Georgia last year, they would be on a heck of a winning streak right now. And they have dealt with some heavyweights in college football, and they are becoming one quickly themselves. They are back on the map in a big way.
Well, if they make it to the top 10, be their highest ranking since they finished number 8 or number 7, depending on the poll that you were looking at, back in 2014. And they have another 100-yard, 200-yard day for Haynes King. 100 on the ground and over 200 through the air.
The guy Haynes is just a ridiculous football player. He's just so resourceful. He just does whatever is necessary for his team to win. I said don't underestimate his ability to throw the football. When you can throw it up to guys like 6'4" Isaiah Canyon and let him just go get it. I mean, that's beautiful. That wide basic cross that they call it, that he threw to Luke Harpring, was a thing of beauty. And then this play call, this is Buster Faulkner, the offensive coordinator, at his best. Get everyone thinking that they're going to try and get outside on some kind of gap scheme run with some pullers. Haynes just pulls it and gets it north and south, and he's out the gate.
And Chris Button down there with the quarterback. And you know what? Let's give one of the big guys who deserves some credit today, too, Chris, his credit.
Yeah, Jordan Vandenberg, 2 roommates, by the way. I'll start first with the quarterback. Offense wasn't easy in the first half. What changed in the second half for you guys?
I mean, going into this game, we knew they were a really good team, really good defensive team. They caused a lot of havoc, and try to get the passer, and also try to get long first and get you in second and long, third and long, stuff like that. But going into that, we knew they were doing that. But going into halftime, we just kind of try to rally the troops and just do your job. Put a hat on a hat and just do your job.
Can you take me into that last rushing touchdown? You looked over to the sideline. What did Coach tell you about whether to score or get down?
Yeah, we weren't expecting it really to break like that, but I just wanted to make sure, get a second opinion on if I needed to go down or just score. So I kind of looked, and everybody was, go score, so ended up going score.
Green light, green light. What can you say about the job your roommate did, particularly on that goal line stand?
I mean, they did an amazing job all night. The defense kept us in this game and kept giving us chances as well. Getting stops in the red zone like that is really huge.
I appreciate the time. Haynes will bring in roommate Jordan. Take me into that stand and what you were able to do to keep them out of the end zone, force them to kick a field goal.
Coach Simpson has just preached on low pad level and physicality. So I was just trying to go out there, play as hard as I can, hit them as hard as I can, and just get a stop.
All honesty, you came over, there were sponges all over you. How exhausted were you at the end of that drive?
Yeah, I was really exhausted. I was dying.
You guys are 7-0 for the first time since 1966. What has it been like to be able to do this ride with Haynes and what he's given this team?
You know, Haynes is a dog. You know, he should be winning the Heisman. I love that guy. You know, under Coach Key, it's a different type of bowl game. Coach Key's just preached into us like, camp is way harder than any game we've ever played. Practice harder than any game we ever played. So just the way that the coaches have prepared us has put us in this position.
Jordan Haynes, appreciate the time. Congratulations, boys. Bob?
Yeah, Lewis, there's a time around a team where you can sense a belief. This team has a belief.
Yeah, they have a belief, and they're close. You see how these guys talk about one another. They call each other dogs and Heisman Trophy candidates, and Brent Key works them harder in practice than they ever could be in a game. That's how you get it done.
For Lewis Riddick and Chris Budden, I'm Bob Wischusen. Georgia Tech wins it again on the road. Back to the studio, and Matt Barry.